look like as if I have more space now. Never mind, it's just my camera angle. Oh God. Yeah.買いそうだよね。Okay, how big can I make this? Testing. Alright, I think this is good. Alright. Oh, okay. So I wrote on this just now, because I got invited by him. And he responded to one of my comments. I haven't actually read it. I'll watch this later. What is this? Giving 966 a proper terminus is cool. Okay, 291, it wasn't really a surprise, because, like, I didn't really expect, like... Oh yes, my friend is actually quite excited about, like, the return of full body ads. Yeah, so he was saying it's before 2016. Hold on. Okay, 291 failing the bendy bus requirement. Sorry. 291 failing the bendy bus clearance is not a surprise to me, because I know that street 32 and 33 over there, it's like kind of narrow. It's just the road being like awkwardly shaped. It's not like a 90-degree turn, which bendies are good at. It's actually a gradual turn, which the the three corners of like street 33, it's like, it's a 90 degree, but it's like, it's 90 degrees, but it's like a very awkward gradual curve cornering it. So bendies wouldn't be good for that kind of like cornering. Bendies are better for like actual 90-degree turns, and not the awkward like cornering. Parser's ITH, it's not... It was one of the ITHs that were crayon during RW's era, so if I'm not mistaken, so I'm not surprised that it failed the clearance test, obviously. And then, okay, I need to reply to this. Bus stops currently along Street 11. There aren't any... Tampines, Street 11. There aren't any bus stops placed there. I suspect it's due to the distance between opposite Tampines Changkat CC bus stop and the market being walkable. I think the new trunk could also serve Tampines Lane like 292. Because I also think there may not be enough space along that area to build 2 new bus stops, but I'm not 100% sure. The trunk, I think, can surely help give an alternative to 292, as normally when I ride 292, the Street 11 section is where cases of food to door occur even during off-peak. Other than new trunk service, can I ask for your opinion on a possible new trunk or feeder that can link Street 11 together with Changi General Hospital, as I normally see many doctors and nurses walking in the hot sun along the bridge to get to CGH. I was thinking like extending 293. No, actually, no. It's a little awkward. Okay, I don't want to extend 293 because it's like, even though I don't cross the boundaries, 293 extending there is quite weird, and I would break the east to west town link loop kind of thing. So I think I'm gonna crayon a new one. Okay, how should I crayon it? Okay, so if they're saying like towards Changi General Hospital, right? Okay, let's keep it simple. Hold on, let me check something. Let's... Dude, why is my quality so bad? Okay, it has to start from Tampines North. Okay, got it. So what I would do, like this, like Tampines North. I would probably make it go inside like this. Just run it all the way. Because I don't want this thing to clone service 18. So I'll send it down. I think a new trunk would be good for this. And the thing is, this is like within the planning zone, so I could even call this a feeder. Like kind of like 265, 268 style kind of thing. So I would do this. And I would do this. Okay, I don't really need Tampines Lane, but just do this. Yeah, just do this. And you could loop inside CMA however you like. Ideally, you want it to boost service 5. Maybe I'll just make it like Street 4 loop. Okay, since there's already 38 going this way and 20 going this way, I would make it a clockwise loop instead, if that's... I would try to make it clockwise, something like this. The issue about Tampines Lane is that I could only enter via here. And then I could only exit via here. So if you just want to crayon a normal feeder that is like not related to Changi General Hospital at all, you could do it like this, I don't know, like this, something along these lines. But this is just a general feeder. And then this one is basically hospital. and then CMA, of course. So this is how I would like crayon it. Yeah, I think I answered like everything. Oh God. Yeah, so again, it's up to you if you want it to be a normal feeder or a hospital feeder. Like this route that I crayon, it could still be considered a feeder because, you know, 290, it's still within the planning zone. I'm not sure if like Simei Avenue is like technically considered within the planning zone, but you see 325 actually calls Yio Chu Kang Road, and that one is a border. So I don't think this would actually matter. You could still call this a feeder service. So yes, just now I was invited to like write this thing. And this is the reason why I don't want to like attend any tours, because people are not gonna behave themselves. They're just gonna open their mouths and talk a lot of unnecessary or like low-key messed up stuff. So I'm glad that he invited me, basically. Why do I have 2 notifications? Yes, correct. Yes, what he's saying actually makes sense. This is alright, okay. The 960 extension, I'm somewhat happy because yes. I'm not sure about 15, but 15 looping is still not the worst because it's not that long, but 966 needs some form of like, it needs a terminal somewhere. Wait. Bidirectional. You could down route as well if you want. I mean 57, yeah, you could still take 15 to the other side. Yes, the exit is like so far away. Yes, what they're saying is actually correct. So yes, okay, usually when I don't respond, it's usually because I don't really have anything to add on. Like their comment basically has already explained like every single thing. I mean, like, okay, like this, the reason why I'm not responding is because they have already addressed every single thing well, as well as like this, like they have already addressed every single thing well, so I don't really have anything to like add on to these comments. Yeah. So 293 is getting bendies, right? The 293 is like, the thing about 293 is that like it's not the highest demand, but like it's a good service to like actually test the bendy bus on. Unfortunately, you cannot test the bendy bus on 68 unless you make it start from Tampines and loop at Pasir Ris. That's the only way where you can test bendy buses on 68, because the interchange itself is wide enough for the bendy buses to turn, but the bendies don't have any place to park properly. So you would have to change the direction of like 68's loop if you want 68 to like have bendy buses. That's the thing. I think the section mainly between Parkway and L1G is compensated by... Okay, so 966, from what I've heard, it's supposed to replace 853M 121 every day. So it's kind of like an enhancement. The only true deleted sectors of 853M would be past like Still Road. Basically Marine Terrace to like Upper East Coast, which is already covered by like so many other bus services. I guess like 55 or whatever you name it. So 966 is supposed to replace 853M, and it only makes sense if it's like an everyday thing. So it is actually kind of an enhancement. Okay, so based on my intel, they are saying that 966 would be extended to GL1, meaning it'll keep Jalan Eunos, keep Still Road, keep Marine Parade Road, and be extended to Geylang Lorong 1, effectively withdrawing 853M and covering up 853M's deleted sector. So 853 would still be Yishun to Geylang Lorong 1, except it'll be Monday to Sunday Yishun to Geylang Lorong 1. And the 853M sectors would be just 1-to-1 replaced by 966 between Still Road South and Geylang Lorong 1. That's the 853M sector. I mean, that junction. So yeah. The other thing is obviously 121 being extended to Marina Center Terminal. The thing is that like right now LTA is being a bit more conservative when it comes to their money, because fucking Ricardo Wang just threw their money down the drain, right? And now they're trying to like recover like with the full body ads and stuff like that. So right now they tend to do things in okay, 146 doesn't count because the roads inside weren't ready yet, but you can just take it that when it comes to the amendments, they are more conservative now. They want to actually experiment with things now, except that they would do it in stages as opposed to like, oh, here's the final amendment, here's the final amendment. It's just like how they introduced 967 to loop at like the hospital there. So they make it so that such that there is like room for future expansion without implementing the future expansion all at once. So it's easier to brand it as kind of like a service enhancement, that kind of thing, as opposed to like doing it in one go. So now that people are used to Shenton Way, right, they're gonna actually extend 121 to Marina Center Terminal, that kind of thing. Oh, and my friend says he got a feeling that 121 will extend to Marina Center Terminal when 97/E withdraws. Although, to be honest, like, I'm not entirely sure if, like, 97/E is still actually withdrawing, or they are just doing the 167 strategy. Because it's like, the thing about 167 right now is that they are changing it from 30 minutes to 20 minutes. So it's like, currently the plan that I've heard is that peak hours 20 and off-peak hours 30 minutes. Although this one is just in my opinion, for weekends they could revert it to 20 minutes, that kind of thing. But at least, again, we take small steps first. We don't just revert everything to 20 minutes. We just revert it to 20 minutes at certain times of the day. Put in some S-shift buses, and we'll see how it goes. If it's successful, then they would gradually reinstate 167 to become 20-minute frequency again. But again, because of euphemism, they are not going to publicly announce the fact that 167 would be reverting to 20 minutes, regardless of whether it's like peak or full day. They are not actually going to announce the thing, because they cut it and then to revert it back, it's kind of like shameful, right? But then again, I don't blame them. They were being screwed by the previous administration, who really wanted to just cut this, cut this, cut this, cut this, cut this. I'm not saying that in future there wouldn't be rationalizations. I'm just saying that like they would do it more carefully, and only the services that are truly useless would be rationalized away. Like for example, 853M. The services that have usage like 196, the parent service, they will still be kept because the connections are like way too unique, and not even Tengah line could replace it because Dover Road still needs a direct connection to like Jalan Bukit Merah and Kampong Baru Road, that kind of thing, based on like demand patterns and stuff like that. It's basically catered towards like the school population along like Dover Road and North Buona Vista Road, in which they don't even have like, as well as like Tanglin Hall, they don't even have immediate access to like Tengah line, because Tengah line is supposed to intercept at Commonwealth Avenue and Queensway, that junction. So it's not even going to replace 196 at all. It's just not going to affect it. So they will be more conservative when it comes to like the rationalizations as well, which means that I don't even think 97/E is going to get affected. Maybe 97E would get withdrawn, and 97 might do the 167 strategy last time, meaning they would run it like 30 minutes or something. But with that being said, even the friend who told me about that intel, he said that 852 honestly shouldn't even operate on weekends, and I wholeheartedly agree. 852 should honestly be this is not what they're gonna do, but I just feel that like it's a waste to run 852 on weekends, and you should make it a weekday only service. I don't even mind if it's full day or what. Even if you want to run it till like 8 p.m., I'm also fine with it. But you see, 852 is basically just a service that is only useful during certain periods of time, and at those other times you shouldn't even be running it at all. You would just like bleed money, that kind of thing. But honestly, ever since like the bus assets and bus planning league, they have got rid of like the quote unquote evil bosses. They've already gotten rid of them and they got transferred to like the taxis department. LTA has honestly been improving a lot, I would say. Correct, because as you see, like 196, when you observe it at Marine Crescent, Marine Terrace during the school dismissal periods, and elderly as well, that's the reason why 196 has a purpose basically. And it's also because of Mountbatten. Not many people take, I mean, Mountbatten is too far away from Thompson East Coastline. As in like that stretch of Mountbatten Road between Tanjong Katong Road South and Fort Road. There is just no immediate TEL access. So that's why these people, and remember that Nickel Highway, Esplanade, Fullerton, Collier Key, they don't even have immediate like TEL access. So that's the reason why, like if you're at Raffles Place, it makes no sense for you to walk to Shenton Way. You would rather take 196, right? Because it's at the doorstep. Like if you're along like nearer to Raffles Place MRT, there is no reason to walk to TEL at all. So yes, correct. You're correct. What are the changes again? Okay, so then being more conservative when it comes to like the rationalizations per se. In fact, the only things that I would foresee getting chopped are probably 30E, but I'm still not very sure about 30E. But 97E, 196E, I need 853M obviously, Service 10, probably gonna cut it to like Harbourfront or something. What else? So okay, parent 30 and parent 196 are definitely spared. Just like 147 was being spared by Northeast Line, same for 133. Yeah, that's the thing. You see, if there is actually backlash, it'll be probably the same kind of backlash as the 147 and 133 thingy. I don't even know why 133 was even up for rationalization in the first place, but I mean in the past, in 2003, but yeah. So yes, being more conservative with rationalizations and only really getting rid of the variants as opposed to like the parent services unless it's necessary. Like 132 is not doing well. There's also 851E. They are gonna keep degrading to the until they cut it. So if you guys see a KUB on 851E, you better film it because I don't know how long that service would actually last. So that's one thing. And yes, the other okay, 966 extension, 121 extension. What's the other thing? I keep forgetting what else I've said. Oh yes, 36 extending its operation hours to like 12:50, like 12:50 a.m. if I'm not mistaken. Like the last bus would, I think it was like 36A or something. The last bus would actually depart Changi Airport at 12:50 a.m. Like that's their plan, as well as the 985 to 99 thingy. Like how I say it? It's like I'm not confident that they would actually pull off the 985 thingy to Changi Airport and deleting off like Bendemeer, Boon King, and GL1 because it's still in the early discussion stages, and when something is in early discussion, they might change. Like for example, 171 eventually got rejected in favor of 984, right? So this one, you guys just take it with a grain of salt, but that one is the one thing that I cannot say for sure. But the bendy buses, I'm pretty sure they're gonna debut it on 293 as a test for a GAS site. SMRT site, it hasn't changed. It's still 184 and 302. SBS is not getting bendy buses for the first round of demonstrator debuts. It's only getting it at the second round. I'm not sure if that's like the production batch or anything. And then obviously 969 and 801. Only 969 is confirmed. 801 I am still not like very sure. Is 10 still out for rational? Okay, I would just you can just take it that like even though they are being more lenient when it comes to like the rationalizations per se, you can just take it that because there is actually some degree of duplication, especially because there's already 188, you could just take it that they might plop service 10 to Harbourfront. But I doubt they actually have debated to that extent because service 10 technically how do I put it? It's like service 10 is more of like it's concerned with TL5 as opposed to 4 based on what I've heard. So only when TL5 opens, they would actually start discussing about service 10. Like they would monitor like whether service 10's demand has like increased or decreased or anything. And only if it's significant enough, like for example, the farebox recovery drops below 30%, they would then decide whether it's actually worth it to rationalize service 10 or not. And usually this process takes around like 1 year to 2 years. Like TL3 opened in 2022 August, right? And then it's like November or December 2023. 167 was almost axed or scheduled to be axed before it got saved because of the backlash. But basically, it took like 1 month and November, right? It's like 1 year and 3 months. So I guess you can say from TL5's opening, which is like end 2026, you count 1 month. TL5, it's going to open. It's going to be delayed and it's going to open end 2026. So 2026, right? Yes, you count 1 year and 3 months from end 2026, and that'll be probably when they actually start finalizing service 10, whether it's going to be affected or not. Because I have no idea how they're going to do it with service 10. Dude, let's just shut the fuck up about the rapid buses already. You already know that the leader is a delusional piece of shit, so don't entertain them. I know I keep shading them a lot, but again, it's best if you don't listen to them. That's all. Sorry about that. I also, okay. About, okay. Implementing a short working trip for 10A, like the Tampines to Temasek Secondary School during morning peak, is sometimes also full to door. Maybe if the shortening occurs, buses can be. Okay, I get what you mean. It's that, like, sometimes before a bus service shortens or even after it shortens, the buses that you cut off, right? Let's say you cut off the sector between Kent Ridge and Harbourfront, right? So these extra buses could be used to pump the SWT that you have in mind. So yes, you could do that. I'm not sure whether they're doing this, but you could, in theory, do this. 10 looping at school. Would 97 keeping the west? Okay, the thing about 97 is that you cut 97, right? 197 and 963 would be strained, and then Circle Line is not, it only has 3 cars, so it's not able to like take the load. But then again, 97, the sector between like Harbourfront all the way up to like I would say Promenade, it's entirely being duplicated by Circle Line, so it's hard to like ascertain like which side would be cut. I think it's just like the 75 case. I don't even know which side is going to be cut. But if you want to use Service 75 as an example, then it's not unrealistic to think that 97 would probably become something like Jurong East to Harbourfront. It's not unrealistic. So yes, probably. But if you squeeze Service 10 and 97 into Harbourfront, then there's going to be space constraints. Unless you guys actually try to send 97 to Resorts World Sentosa. Like basically Jurong East to Resorts World Sentosa. So they could technically do this. And I know Resorts World Sentosa, the turns don't really favor high capacity buses like DDs or Bendies, but if you want to widen the turns, you want to send 97 down there, I think it's a good opportunity because it's to replace 963R to a certain extent. So yes, I would welcome 97 to either Harbourfront or RWS, depending on how much space these places actually have. In fact, if you actually want to send 97 to Beach Station Terminal, if you want to skip RWS for some reason, it's also fine. You just need to find space to like put the buses there. Any rumors about buses around Bedok Reservoir since the service around there has gotten worse? Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything about Bedok Reservoir. It's quite sad, really, if the existing 30E is withdrawn. Thoughts on a new version of 30E serving Tamadrong and Taman Gardens to CBD instead. It's possible, although I think they wouldn't brand it as like 30E, they might brand it as another city direct service instead. You know, like, because Tamadrong right now lacks a CDS, so they would actually, like, it'll actually be good if they reintroduce. I don't even. It's not correct to say reintroduce. They used to have premiums, but there was never a CDS inside there. So I guess you can say finally introduce a CDS to Tamadrong area. So it's Tamadrong and then Taban. The problem with Taban is that like there's already 655. So it's hard to justify it actually going to Taban. If anything, I think they would just do another Tamadrong CDS. Although to be honest, if you want this Tamadrong CDS to call certain stops along AYE, I honestly wouldn't even mind, just to inject a little bit more demand. Maybe it'll be the first CDS to actually call some AYE stops. I don't mind that concept actually. 97 West Side to Labrador Park MRT station and sent to Bukit Merah. Okay, that's also possible. Although, to be honest, I'm not really sure how to do it. I'm not really a Service 97 expert or anything. Is there a chance that the Bendy service might change from 293, as some of my friends told me the... Oh, okay, Avenue 9 and Street 41. Okay, but to be honest, like... I believe the reason why they chose like 293 is because they somehow tested the area and found it okay. Okay, the reason why it's okay is because unlike Street 33, which is like a very weird gradual curve, the thing about Street 41 is that this one's 90 degrees and then it's only this portion that would be of concern. Okay, by the way, the road used to be like straight or something, but it's only this portion of the road that would be of concern. And this one looks gradual in... I think if the Bendy bus turns slowly, I think they probably have like tested it in some way or another. Otherwise, they wouldn't have decided on 293. But let's say they decided against 293. They could also... I think some of my commenters also suggested like 298. That's also a possibility as well, because as you know, 298's demand is like steadily growing. It's not like exponentially growing or anything, but it's like day by day it's like growing. The more people start moving into this area and the more people start like moving into this area as well, and the more this area actually this area in general actually develops, then you could actually justify 298 having bendies, and then they would be useful at this area. To be honest, 292 I don't even mind. The issue with 292 is that I don't even know if this road is narrow. Like, you cannot send a DD inside. So I don't even know if like you're even able to send a bendy inside. The curves look very awkward and the road is like really narrow. This one should be fine. My concern is really Street 22. If the bendy is even able to navigate Street 22 in the first place. I don't even think a DD could even clear Street 22. Because it is true that like 292's demand, like especially at this area, sometimes 292 could actually be full to the door. So yeah, I don't mind 292 as well. 296, obviously it's impossible because of this thingy over here, even though 292 would actually be good for bendies. Okay, no, SBS, they are just not getting bendies at the first round of testing. They are only getting it at the second round of testing, according to Norman Abdullah, but I am not really sure if I could verify his statements with other people as well. The 966 and 121 things I could verify with other sources as well, and not just my own intel. That one, yes. Fernvale Lane. Fernvale Lane. No, there are bus stops. You mean unless you're talking about another road, right? Like you're talking about Fernvale Link instead, right? And not Lane. Beats me as well. I think it's the same reasoning as to why Pongo Walk doesn't have buses. I think it's also the same reason why Anchorvale Link doesn't have buses. I know NR6 used to go there, but I think some roads just, you know, don't have buses. There is no really good explanation to it. It's probably the same thing as like, why does Street 42 and 41, 31, 32, 22, why do those streets? There used to be buses inside, by the way, like here, if I'm not mistaken. But I think nowadays there is no real explanation to this, but it's like some roads just don't have buses, and I don't even know how to come up with an explanation for that. Hello SG buses. So yeah, basically I met Maxon just now. I also met like Shabiu Ahmed. He okay, hold on. Yes, 292 is possible, it's just they need to be trained. Top IO interchange birth, reshuffle. So B1 closes, B2 reopened, and then they kept shifting. So 231, 232 moved to B2. 238 now occupies 2 queue spaces, which is, I think it's a good thing, honestly. It's like 334, 72, 72B. I would think it's beneficial. So one part of the queue enters via one side of the door, the other part of the queue enters via the other side of the door. Something along those lines. I know top IO is like a little bit cramped, but it's possible. Okay, it's alright. But basically, this is also a chill stream, but in case you guys didn't know, the reason why you see this is because the reason why I was able to take an off-service bus is because I was on board with like Maxon, and then Shabu was driving the bus. We took it to like Temasek Boulevard, and then I ended the video. Like, if I actually took it all the way to like Changi Airport, SATS, and Pasir Ris as well, Pasir Ris area, I think it's the heavy vehicle park near IKEA Tampines. If I took it all the way, I would have missed my last bus, like 58 and 5. This is why I need my last buses. So yeah, I only filmed it till Temasek Boulevard, and Maxon would film basically Suntec area to Changi area, like SATS area, and then they would head over to the heavy vehicle park. I don't think he's gonna be uploading the entire trip or anything, it's just the best parts of the ride, but basically you could expect a video from him. I don't know when he's gonna drop it. He usually backlogs his stuff for like many years or maybe a few months. I don't think he would actually upload this instantly, but just to explain why I managed to take an off-service bus, because Maxon invited me. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to do bench hotel. If it was earlier, I think all of my friends would agree. So there were like 6 of us, right? And in the end, only Maxon and my other friend actually, who stays at Pasir Ris East, not West. Only both of them actually joined Shabu for like the second part of the quote-unquote private tour. We only took a short distance from Lucky Plaza to... The reason why they were going slow along Lucky Plaza is because Maxon was on board at the top and he wanted to film the Christmas lights. So that's why he went a little bit slow, but the traffic was already quite slow anyway. We weren't even using the bus lane for obvious reasons, but yeah. That's to explain why the speed went from slow to fast. It was actually kind of intentional. But don't worry, he's a really experienced driver, he knows what he's doing, and yeah. So yeah, you would actually hear their voices inside the video for like at the starting point, at the starting parts of the video. So yeah. So yeah, we took it from Lucky Plaza to Suntec, and then all of us went back. I mean, all of us except the 2 of them, we all went back. I'm low-key annoyed that the Sawtooth side kept the same birth signs unlike the end-on births. Yeah, inconsistency. Sengkang ITH refurbishment. That interchange, honestly, I agree, it's way too small. Oh, hello. Hello, Marvit. Should be integrated. Yeah, it's like, I don't even understand why Sengkang Square, like, you see this road, right? What they should have done, and to accommodate more bus services as well, is that there is actually an entrance to over here, right? They should actually cut off the road to up till here, and then Sengkang Square shouldn't exist. This should have been the entrance and exit, and then this should have been the entire bus interchange. I don't even mind if there's one air-conditioned sector and then there's one open sector. I don't even mind if that was really the case. Maybe just build some rain shelters along here. I don't even care. It's just poor design. I don't even know why this road exists. Correct. It's very constricting. Will definitely be interesting to see 374. Yeah, they haven't. 965 is supposed to go there, but they rejected it. I don't know if 965 is ever going to actually go to Bangkok. At least they don't have to run they don't have to like run it as a loop. They don't need the 965T anymore. It'll be easier, and anyway, they actually get a break at Bangkok instead of like looping. 965 is not the worst, but when Lenter SLETP jams up, it'll be quite bad, like Pongo Road as well. LTA hasn't used Bangkok ITH fully. Yeah. Yeah, 374 at Compassville, it's quite. Yeah, it's all a mess. Poor planning as well. G18 conversion to bus stop should be permanent. More flexible routing for some services. Ah, got it. Route idea, okay. I'm just gonna trace it with my hand, with my finger, okay. Bedok North Depot. Bedok Reservoir. Okay, Bedok North Depot, Bedok Reservoir. Tampines Street, okay, 96, 95. And then, okay, 11, 12. Yeah, I know this one, the junction is a little sus. Tampines, honestly, they should really convert one of the junctions to like, you get what I mean. Then to Tampines East. Loop at Tampines Street 30. Oh, like this, and then loop like this. Okay, it's possible. Okay, I like this one. Yeah, honestly, when you crayon this thing, you could replace a part of like 18 with it. Basically, you don't touch the current 18. You just route the current 18 to Bedok. Yeah, I like that. Small interchange and the lack of ability to kick more buses away from Sengkang ITH really makes it impossible to serve Sengkang West better. Yeah, it basically limits the number of like services. Oh, okay. Connecting Tampines South 299 and Tampines Changkat and East. Town Link. Although a Town Link is like actually a little bit difficult per se. Oh, Sengkang West Depot. Okay, to be honest, like if they are open to the idea of like more services inside Sengkang West Depot, I don't even mind if you don't start from here. Like I said, the one thing that is actually preventing 268 and 329 from extending to, let's say, over here, it's really the feeder fare cap. If you do something to the fare system, let's say you want to extend 268 to like this, and then you extend it here, or maybe you 329, and then you extend it here as well. I don't even mind it, honestly. It just has got something to do with like the town boundaries, the way they're designed, because at Tampines and Simei, they are under the same planning zone. Bangkok and Sengkang, they are under the same planning zone, and they are also under the same town council as well. So yeah, it all boils down to like their entire like policy and planning thingy. And fun fact, yesterday I had a migraine and I couldn't sleep properly because somebody disrupted my sleep. So I'm here getting my vitamin C back. Whoops. But I'm okay now. Like once I took a shower this afternoon, I was okay. But God, the headache hurts. 230 Mount Pleasant possible. 235, 132 Mount Pleasant also possible. No, oh my god. 8-1 guy, 8-1-1 is a Yishun feeder. Okay, there's a reason why 860 didn't extend to 860 was supposed to be all the way to Topayo. But because at that point in time somebody was like, no, it'll duplicate TL. So in the end they decided to send 860 to Yochukang instead. But it was originally supposed to go to Topayo. And yes, in that era, there was also 500, which became 974 and stuff like that. But it was from the same era, basically. So yeah. I mean, if you're gonna send something to like... Oh, okay, Miltonia. No, okay, the reason why you cannot extend 811 to Miltonia is because it's in the wrong direction. Like, you're gonna have... Actually, now that I think of it... Okay, no. I think the reason why you cannot do that is because here is like quote-unquote forest. I know it's probably gonna be residential in the future, but here is the hub spoke bus stop. So if you... I don't know how to say this, but it's like if you extend 811 to South Loop to like Miltonia, right, you would basically disrupt the hub spoke from this side of the road to like this. So now people have to cross over to the other side of the road. You know Eastern Avenue 1 is just one of the hardest roads to actually cross, right? You need to cross over to the other side and do this, which would defeat the purpose of like having 811 in the first place. I know you're not deleting any bus stops, but it's like the direction matters. Like if there was actually a pedestrian crossing over here, then I would say yes, you could extend 811, but the lack of like any form of like pedestrian crossing over here basically hinders 811 from ever extending. So you could blame it on no pedestrian crossing over here. I mean, that's like the actual reason. If you want an M, fine, but again, resource is important. Conceptually, there's nothing wrong though. True sync. Okay. Kang MRT without using TP. If I let it pass through Sengkang, people will say it's gonna duplicate 102. So I'll try something. Again, this is not really realistic or anything. I'm just trying to say in theory, is it possible or not? Okay. So again, I'm going to be tying it together with like other people's suggestions as well. Again, like people have been saying Fernvale Layer, Renjong Tongkang, they need a direct access to Bangkok. Either this or you serve the mosque like this, or maybe even like this. Up to you. That's one solution. But if you really wanted to, I find it really hard to justify Sengkang because like 102 already exists. So if you skip Sengkang, right? Let's see, you crayon it along this sector. Then okay. Okay, don't use TPE, right? So I'm just gonna follow your instructions not to use TPE. Oh crap, it's so hard to like... Okay. Now I gotta shift it, sorry. Okay. The main thing is that you need to touch this area. So what I could do is basically like this. Yeah. It looks like 114 honestly, but I'm just following your instructions to not use TP. Where do you want to send it to? Lentor Angmokyo. Okay, like this. You have to be careful not to like clone 163. Although to be honest, I feel 163 really needs boosting. So like this, just go all the way. See, you want Lentor, right? But honestly, I feel that if 114 doesn't go in, 114 doesn't go inside, right? Actually, it's still possible. Okay, I'm gonna again. I'm just following your instructions. Like this, I could like let it go. Oh shit! I could make it go inside a little bit. You want Lentor, right? I can actually make it come back out. And I would let it go Angmokyo Avenue 5. And however you want to crayon the service, like terminate Angmokyo, terminate Bishan, or what, after this point, I'll leave it up to you. There is a little bit of potential, even though I don't think this is the most efficient way to route it, but again, just following your instructions, I still think it's like somewhat possible. If you want to go east, right? Okay. You want to go east. Okay, let's say you don't do this. If you want to go east, I would suggest, because this side has no bus, right? So you let it go up like this. Sorry, you let it go up. And where is Sengkang East? Let it cut through Compassville Street like this. Maybe like this. Like this. Go up. Send it to like Parceris Industrial Drive 1. That's one suggestion. Or you could just make it terminate Sengkang. Or even make it terminate like, up to you. However you want to crayon is fine. I'll just crayon it for you up till here. So basically the difference is that if you want Sengkang and then you want to send it east, right? I would recommend, because this side is developing, right? They need a full day bus service at least. That's not like 374. So I'll just let it crayon straight. I'll just crayon this straight bus service. This straight line bus service for you. If that helps. If that like fulfills like your requirements. No, to be honest, Yishun has way too many feeders. I wouldn't think of like introducing a new one other than like 802. You want 80 conceptually, if you want 809 Chincharu. Just saying in general, don't crayon any more feeder services from Yishun. Crayon from Chincharu instead. No, I'm not no, my purpose is not to follow 265. It's different, okay? Because here's the thing, like, this thing, I sent it here. 265 doesn't even go here. It doesn't even go here. And the thing is that I'm not saying you have to use Angmokyo Avenue 2. You could use Avenue 4 as well. Or 6. Or 8. This was like the idea given by my other commenter, right? So I'm just following their instructions. But I did not specify whether it's Angmokyo Avenue 2, 4, 6, 8 because I want to give them the freedom to like crayon stuff. Again, is this route realistic? Okay, not really, but again, if it's just conceptually, yeah. Northeast. Okay, so based on what my intel is saying, you know, like the CDS, right? You know, these services, this, this, and this. All of these were supposed to be one consolidated full day express from Pongo, Sengkang, Haokang, blah blah blah, to Orchard and CBD. But because again RW pretty much screwed the entire LTA and threw their funds down the drain back then, right now they have no money. They have to recuperate somehow. They have no money to run a full day CDS. A full day express service from the northeast to the city. So they have no choice but to like break them up into smaller CDS. CDS has to be direct, right? So unfortunately, they have to split them all into like different fragments. This is what I heard. Chencharu to Kutekwa Hospital, then Yishun Avenue 4, 1 down to... Technically, yes. Although, I don't really see any point in trying to crayon something to Springleaf because they would just tell you to take like 169 and that's it. I mean, that would be their reasoning as to why they won't push another service to Springleaf. Because they already pushed 860 there and they have no plans in future to push anything down Upper Thompson Road and Sembawang Road. Also because they already retain 167. (167) was never ever supposed to be an MRT redundancy bus service. It was 980. But after the backlash, it's safe to say that even though 167 technically doesn't really do the role of an MRT redundancy bus service, it's like 20 to 30 minute frequencies, it's like, I mean, they have a plan to convert it to 20 minutes during peak hours, right? But even then, it's like 20 peak and 30 off peak. It's still not enough to make it an actual MRT redundancy bus service. Again, future plans, I don't know if they would eventually convert 167 to 20 minute like throughout the day. I don't know, but it depends on the demand, but demand wise, but like 167 nowadays, it's more of like a niche thing. Like you check the bus app for the bus arrivals and you try to nab the bus at the correct timing, that kind of service. So in a way, it's indirectly or maybe even directly teaching people how to use the bus apps, even though I don't really use them because I want to conserve my phone battery for filming, but yeah. So it's more of like 980 is still the MRT redundancy bus service, but 167 is kind of like a fake redundancy bus service, I would say. Yes, it kind of takes on the role, but again, not really at the same time. It was almost rationalized, by the way. Express bus services. Okay, you want Pongo to Central. Okay, hold on. Let me just note down your ideas. Regardless of how realistic they are, let me just note it down. Okay, so you want this thing from Pongo to like, let's say, Central. I'm assuming like Orchard. I think I've crayoned something like this. 505, you want it Sengkang and Buangkok and Haokang to, okay, City Shopper. You want a City Shopper. Okay, okay, you know, Pongo Way down to okay. Pongo Way like this, down to Sengkang, and then I apply like this. I've already crayoned one myself, so you could take a look at that. Okay, too many city direct services. Unfortunately, it's really because they have no money currently to run full day. But yeah, express along Yio Chu Kang Road. Depends on what kind of service. Okay, at this point in time, I really don't know whether to make it express along Yio Chu Kang Road or not. Or to just make it, you make it in a way such that like, you call one pair of bus, like for example, you call one pair of bus stops and then you skip the rest. It's just for hub spoke, that kind of thing. Okay, maybe, but actually I crayon before, okay. What do you mean by central? You mean like Novena area, right? I'm assuming 503 is the same as like, I'm assuming you want a Pongo and a Sengkang Bangkok Hougang City Shopper. Okay, I can crayon one for you. I've crayoned before, by the way, and I know how the city shoppers used to work, so... Alright, I'm gonna crayon one. Shit, okay. The thing about this is that, like... You wanna crayon a city shopper, from like... Okay, let's say you copy 104 up to... here-ish. I mean, you're gonna... Okay, you serve Pongo Road End as well. A new Pongo Road End as well, the roundabout. Then you make it go down, 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 down. And then... Okay, I wouldn't make it this just Pongo. Let it serve Sengkang West. And from here on, you got this thing called Sengkang West Way and West Road. And after that, you could just express it. And then, if you want... Okay, you want like... Sengkang Bangkok Hougang, okay. You want Sengkang Bangkok Hougang, okay. How do I do this? Since I already have one that's like running through here, I'm just gonna crayon from like the center of Sengkang. Okay, you want Bangkok as well, so let's see. I would say I don't want to make it whine so much, so okay, you want Bangkok. Okay. Okay, like this. Just a small... It's something like 372, but not really. But I mean, this is kind of like 372 in the past where it used to do this, by the way. But yeah, I'll do something like this. I could get more creative with Hougang actually. Just let it go here, 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 here. Actually, no, I'm just bringing it back like 512 at this point. Except 51... Except that like the previous express services, they used to go via this way. But I'm like, no, let's let it call Bangkok instead. So instead, so like this, like instead. Okay, maybe make it go inside Serangoon North a little bit. Shit, I don't even know if this area is like double-decker friendly or not, but whatever. Call inside Ang Mo Kio Avenue 3, and yeah, just short and sweet. I could even crayon one more. From Pongo Central, I'm just gonna let it go like this, Pongo Central. Because here's the thing, there's already LRT here. And here there is not that much demand in the first place. There's already 678. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that. Just gonna let it cut through Pongo Central. Go down. Go down. Like this. So essentially it's just like this, go down all the way. And I would let this one... I don't want it to be too close like NEL either, so... Yeah, I guess you could say serve Hougang Avenue 7. Or to be honest, if you wanted to make this thing wind a little bit, instead of like it being straight, if you want to choose the windy option instead, like let's say this, this, I would welcome this as well. So, okay, so this is like City Shopper 2, this is City Shopper 1, this would be City Shopper 3. And then this thing could use KPE instead. And obviously, okay, I'm not gonna change the way they loop. It's still gonna be CTE, Momi Newton, Momi Newton Scots, like this, Orchard, Bras Bassa, Temasek, Boulevard, Rocher, and in fact, I could even make it call Rocher, which is underrated by the way. Rocher, Canal, Bukit Timah Road, and then CTE back. The one thing about the previous iteration of like the City Shoppers is that they didn't call Rocher at all. See, the reason why I want to call Rocher and Rocher Canal is because there is Little India over here. There's Rocher as well. There's like Bugis, and then there's the area that's like near Beach Road. You would get so much catchment from here. And then go back to CTE. So this would be for City Shopper 1 and 2. Then for type 3, I would suggest something like this. So KPE, right? From KPE, you go on to ECP. All you have to do is you don't even serve Momin, Scots, Newton, or like Orchard, or like Scots in the first place. All you need to do is, for the City Shopper number 3, just copy service 36 and loop at Tomlinson. Because I need to enter via like Hougang Avenue 8, Tampines, 8, 7, okay, or maybe just 7, Tampines Road and KPE. And that is how you design these. I've designed like 3 City Shopper services for you, and I made it so that they are like relatively straight. This one looks like a clone of like 512, but honestly, it's kind of worth it to bring 512 back. I know 512 used to be full single decker fleet, but you know what? Let's just give it a shot again. Because 512 turns prematurely at Buyong Road. Now that I've given it Raffles, like Bras Basah Raffles Hotel, Suntec, and stuff like this, I'm pretty sure this has a higher chance of succeeding as opposed to like just 512, because 512 didn't have enough stops at like the city, Orchard area per se. So yes, you guys can chat for a while. I need a toilet break. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm back. Mm. Good night. Okay. Making it past Bugis is actually good. Sengkang West, Seletar Saraka Begonia Road before going Yio Chu Kang Road westbound before. I think you're gonna have to use Hino Poncho, unfortunately. Considering 15's runtime is around. It's actually 2 hours and 10 minutes. Do I think 15 can also be extended to serve GL1? Unfortunately, I think Hague Road is not really that suitable for buses. So, but if you want it, okay, Marine Parade Road, Amber Road, Hague Road, Dunman Road, Old Airport Road. You could even make it go like Cassia Link, and then Guillemard. I don't even mind that. If you want Long 22, I also don't mind it. Oh I think instead of like GL1, you could make it go Sims. But you know what? Screw it. Sims Place is gonna close down anyway, so you could do it such a. Okay, you know what? Screw Lorong 22. Let's just make it like. I'll give you a choice. Dunman, Old Airport, Mountbatten, Sims Way, or you could go like Dunman, Old Airport, Cassia Link, and then Guillemard Road, Sims Way. Yeah, you can play around with it. It's technically possible. Whether they actually want to extend it or not, I have no idea, but I'm just telling you it's technically possible. Tengah feeders. I'm also not sure. People have told me like 9.3 something, but I'm not even sure if that's like true in the first place. Okay, 15 to Founders Memorial also, I don't mind that as well, because right now 11 and 158 don't even serve like Marine Parade, so setting 15, okay, let's say Marine Parade, Amber, Mountbatten, Fort Road, Tanjong Rhu Road, and then go down to Founders Memorial, ITH sort of thing. I don't even mind that. I think that would be worthwhile as well. Oh yes, by the way, if a route has like a runtime of like 2 hours and 15 minutes, they might close all night. But keep in mind that like, I know some services, they are really like hard to cut, you know, but as in like split it into two. But how do I put this? This 2-hour rule only really applies to the new services per se. Maybe the city shoppers could be exempted from it. They could even make it layover. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why they chose CDS as opposed to like CDS style as opposed to like city shopper style. But again, it's like, if only the expressways had some form of like bus priority. I'm not saying you paint like a yellow line and then just call it a bus lane on expressway. I'm not talking about that kind of rubbish. I'm talking more along the lines of like the bus priority NSC style. Actually, I'll come back to that. So basically the 2-hour rule only applies to like the newer services per se. The older ones like 51, 61, blah blah blah, they wouldn't really be affected. But anyway, like 51 and 61, they already give the drivers like quite long breaks anyway. And it's like for 51 and 61, you just have to drive like 2 trips and then end of day, you can rest already. So it's just 1 forward and then 1 back. And your shift is like done for the day, that kind of thing. That's how 51 works. Like either AM or PM, that kind of thing. It's literally just 2 trips, 1 forward and 1 backward. But like, okay, it's more of like whatever service that they could fix, they will try to fix. If it's not fixable, like in the case of like 50, 51, 61, whereby they've exhausted all options, then okay, fine. It's okay to not change it, but this rule only really is going to be enforced on like the newer services. which again maybe explains why they chose the CDS style as opposed to like the City Shopper style. Now going back to NSC, right now you could actually make 656 instead of CT, right? You could actually let it use NSC. You want to make this full day, assuming people would actually use the bus service. I don't even mind, but yeah. Okay, good night. Thanks for joining. Okay, no, 61 you could technically truncate it to Bidadari. That one's easy. 51 is the one that's like not easy to truncate at all. But to be honest, like the compensation is that, like, how do I even put it? The compensation is that for 51 and 61, right? It's literally just one forward trip and one backward trip. I mean, sorry, direction 1, direction 2, and then the bus driver ends his shift. It's unlike other services whereby you might have to drive like up, down, up, or like up, down in an entire day. So it depends. Because it's like, back then my friends toyed with the idea of like making 23 loop at Bugis before looping at Rocher Canal Road. I was like, okay, it might not be worth it because there is no true bus priority in Bugis. But I'm like, okay, why not make the City Shoppers actually call Bugis? It's not for the people to go to Bugis, but more of like, if you are at Bugis and you find transferring to NEL a huge pain in the ass, or you find transferring to like DTL a pain in the ass, don't worry. I will crayon all these City Shoppers to pass by Bugis in the form of Rocher Road and not Victoria Street. I'm not making the City Shoppers actually go Victoria Street because you already know Victoria Street is like choked. So I would make it past Rocher Road instead. And Rocher Road is actually a lot better than you'd think because it's a shopping belt, it's a hotel belt, it's kind of like it's the fringe of like the CBD kind of thing. So it's actually more useful than you'd think. And obviously Little India at MRT over there, there's also like shopping, restaurants and stuff like that. You would actually get demand. Not calling Rocher Road is really a missed opportunity. God damn it. Okay, sorry, I was replying to like my friend. Sorry about that. Okay, 858, as you guys know, 858, you just create a space for like the bus captains to actually lay over, cloud bus or whatever. I'm sure they will work out a solution. Even if it means sending 858 to inside T4 and making the bus actually park inside T4, I don't even mind. Like, you make the bus park inside T4, you allow passengers to transfer to, like let's say, but if it's T4, right, like, you know, T4 has this like stupid curve, like this, like this stupid little curve, right, that the buses have to go through twice. You need to widen this goddamn turn before you send 858 to T4. So basically what you would do is that, by the way, I've noticed that Service 44 doesn't even get like the security checks during PM peak. AM peak they would check, but PM peak they typically don't check for like Service 44 currently. Okay, so but okay, that's besides the quest. It was just an observation for PM peak. But okay, you widen this turn, right? Let's say you have an 858 bendy bus parking here. You have another 858 bendy bus parking here as well. So when this driver finishes his shift, you can allow passengers to tap out and tap in like this. Just conceptually. I don't know how you're actually even able to implement this or communicate, but you could do something like this if you want 858 to like lay over, right? Obviously, you're not gonna be sending 858 to T5 because that's just fucking stupid. make use of T4, I guess. Or at least try to create on a space so that like 858 could actually lay over, not just 858, but if they are actually serious about sending 985 to Changi Airport, they need to create these sorts of like layover spaces. Yeah, it starts at airport, so that's why they didn't check 44. Oh, by the way, 44, I'm just gonna warn you guys, this thing would be bye-bye once cross island line is up, like cross island line extension. So yeah, unless the demand has grown so high to the point whereby you cannot even remove 40, because you see the thing is, cross island line doesn't even touch like terminals 1, 2, 3, 4. Cross island line only touches terminal 5. I do foresee that, okay, even though I know at the back of my mind that this is a temporary bus service, I can sort of foresee that like this will be another, because people have been saying that the demand is growing, right? I could foresee that this would become the next 976, I would feel, because the airport workers, right, they would appreciate that. See, the thing about 44 is that it's not even a full day service. And this is why it makes it worthwhile to actually run it. It's basically like maybe this thing, but just runs during peak hours. I think it's fair enough. Like, let's say CRL for some reason cannot handle the demand, right? And there's actually people who aren't alighting at Punggol. They actually want to go to like North Shore area, right? You could treat 44 as like some form of like CDS, but without the CDS fares, of course. I got a feeling that this thing is gonna like, okay, basically this thing is probably gonna be like haha bye bye, but this thing has maybe a 50-50 chance of like staying or getting withdrawn. LCS1, I think it will stay because people even take LCS1 to school. I think this thing is worth keeping because it doesn't even run that many trips in the first place. I don't even know, because here's the thing. This is just the early planning stage. I don't even know if they actually seriously want 985 to Changi Airport. Extend peak hours. Ah, okay. You actually might be right. So they may not send 90. Okay, by the way, all the other Changi Airport services, like I've told you, they still need to call T1234. They cannot skip a single one because even for like 27, 53, and 858, they still effectively call T4 outside. It's like at the actual order is basically T4 opposite, T3, T1, T2, and then T4 outside. That is for like 27, 53, and 858. But many people tend to forget that these services effectively call Terminal 4. It's just you need to walk out a lot more. But they still effectively serve that terminal basically. Even though it's a little bit inconvenient, but at the very least the connectivity is still there. So all the existing Changi Airport services cannot be taken out of like T1234. But since 985 is going to be new, right? I think you guys also know this. I've mentioned this before. I'm just trying to reiterate the point. 985 going to just T5, I would actually believe it. By the way, okay, a good question. 89, they cannot cut it. 64, because of the stupid road configuration inside Sterling and Mei Ling and Mei Chin. 64 and 89 are going to be one of those services that they have no choice but to remain as a long loop service. again, unfortunately, out of necessity. But because they are not new bus services, they could be exempted from the rule. And I do understand 64's reliability is a piece of shit. That's why my friend has come up with like some ideas to like kind of boost Sterling machine mailing and stuff like that, or make 64 bidirectional but give ample compensation in the form of like 64M or a Bukit Merah feeder to like and or a Bukit Merah feeder to Mei Street loop. I mean that's his ideas. I'm not gonna interfere much, but he has the final call. But I'm just like suggesting things to him. So the main aim is not to like put entirely realistic stuff. It's just to push the boundaries a little bit, like within reasonable means, that kind of thing. Because conceptually, I see nothing wrong with it. It's just trying to experiment. Because right now, LTA Bus Planning League and even Bus Assets, they are willing to experiment. And by the way, fun fact, the MAN NLC 18E bendy bus, the 4-door one, that one is actually the first vehicle being procured. Obviously, it's RHD being procured by the new bus assets team after RW has gotten out. I think the current deputy director is like a lady, if I'm not mistaken, because it was a lady who told my friend the information and showed him a picture of, obviously my friend isn't able to show, but to show a picture of like the MAN NLC 18E bendy, the 4-door one. So this means that like it's just fun fact, it's the first ever vehicle being procured under the new team, that kind of thing, in case you guys don't know. It's the demonstrator, by the way. The other two bendies, like the Yutong U18, BYD B18, I'm not sure when they're gonna come, but it's only the MAN bendy bus that it actually has some form of like evidence and it's actually confirmed. But that one is more of like it's a straight order, which means MAN still needs time to actually, they could give an artist's impression of the bus, but they still need time to actually build the bus per se for you, because it's not like a mass order or anything. This one is just they straight away procure from their website, that kind of thing. So obviously it'll take time, but yeah. And I think by the time that those bendies like reach Singapore, I would already have went home to Japan anyway. But if you ask me, I still prefer A24 over an electric bendy. It's just that finally some justice, like the devils have all gone out of LTA. Bus assets is improving. Bus planning league, although they don't really make the best decisions at times, sometimes I know it's due to like lack of resources or money, but as compared to like the previous team under fucking RW and YTG, it's honestly a lot better already, I can assure you that. So even though if like the results don't come in quickly, it's okay, just wait for it. They need time to like recuperate every single thing. At least they are even willing to try out the MAN bendy bus, and it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna buy buses from China. That's not like Yutong or anything. Because the thing about the BYD is that, like, from what my friend has told me, and it's also what Afiq told Maxon, it was like 61 from the depot to Eunos and then to Bukit Batok. The bus only decreased by like 9% battery, that kind of thing. So as compared to the Yutong, BYDs in general, their battery life is actually quite good. When the climate type is actually constant, not like in winter or anything. No, when the climate is actually constant, the electric buses would actually have a much better, I don't know how to say it, but yeah. So when it comes to like BYD B18, right, I wouldn't be surprised if that thing has like the best range or anything. I don't even know if they're actually going to like neuter the acceleration or anything, but technically if you guys get like BYD B18, I think it'll have like some form of obviously the MAN's gonna succeed, but the BYD B18, it might have some form of like success. And Yutong U18 is also quite decent. At least they're not like buying any shit from like Zhongtong or CRC or whatever shit, you know. At least it's still the more reputable It's a Bendy bus. You don't want it to fail, right? So yeah, maybe that explains why they're kind of like cheaping out. I mean, also partially because like RW in the past threw LTA's money down the drain to fund his stupid fucking research and development shit. So yeah, and the fact that like it was like 2-3 ad, it was really hindering the amount of money LTA could recuperate. But now that the full body buses are back, now the creative advertisements are back as well. They have more space to work with, and LTA is able to get more money from the advertisers basically. So yes, those are actually positive changes. That honestly, I think this would go unreported by like I think almost every single other bus enthusiast. I'm literally the only one that's like reporting it. Haha, but like I wish there were more people like me reporting this kind of stuff. I mean, I could still report stuff like this even when I go back to Japan, but again, it's like I kind of wish somebody was like taking over my role, right? I don't want to be the only one that's like doing this fucking shit forever, right? Ugh. Or maybe it's because people don't have intel, so I don't blame them. It's just like how I could give you guys the complete story about how 298, why, like exactly why it got delayed, or why 506 Bidadari, stuff like that. It's like some people, they don't have the full picture, and I'm able to like fill in the blanks for you guys. Basically like the gaps in knowledge that no one really dares to say because blah 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 blah, but I'll just say it anyway. I mean, that's what intel is about, right? So yeah. Honestly, I'm also thankful that like today's stream is a lot more peaceful than yesterday. Yeah, you guys were here yesterday. You know what the fuck happened. So no. And I even had to like split it into like 2 streams because I didn't want the negative stuff spilling over to the exam paper that SG Buses designed for me. Yeah. But it was worth it. I really liked the exam paper. It was he claimed to have like done it in like 1 hour or so, but I felt like at least some form of like care has been put into the setting of the exam paper. Like even I couldn't come up with like that kind of thing. Genuinely. I'm more of like, oh, I tell you guys about the routes. I'm not really so much into like the operations aspect, but SG Buses, obviously he has more experience, he is older than me, he knows more. So yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I haven't been reading comments. I'm so sorry. Okay, if you want 64 to terminate, I would, okay, 64, right? I could suggest you put the bus terminal at like, see, I kind of wish this area wasn't like a huge car park. I kind of wish this was actually a bus terminal, right? So the thing could go up the bus terminal, lay over, and come back down. But if that's not possible, oh, you need to take into account the car park entrances and exits as well. But if you want the buses to lay over, you could do it like either here or no, I think it's a one-way road. The reason why you're not able to lay over is like a one. You need like to expand lanes. By the way, this is not easy. By the way, it's like I think the issue is that like the roads over here are like it's just one way, bi-directional but one way. Bi-directional but one lane. I'm sorry. If the roads are one lane, then unfortunately it's hard to like actually make the bus layover. Unless you want to do like the 925 strategy, carve out some bus slots in Crunchy Way car park, right? So you lay over here or you lay over here instead. Yeah. Add to cart, yeah. 83. No, 965 going to Bangkok MRT, it's fine. I'm gonna tell the reason why 83 cannot extend. The reason is because there's way too much demand from 83 inside Sengkang interchange. If you wanted to extend 83 to Bangkok, you would need like 2 berths at Sengkang interchange, just like the 265 strategy, making 265 call Ang Mo Kio interchange, but like in both bounds. 83 is gonna be like, when you extend it, right, people will say that, oh, there's already 965, there's already 102, so 83 is a little difficult to extend to Bangkok. 965 is still possible if you make it go inside Sengkang both bounds. Again, it's like, I'm not forcing them to do it or whatever, but like, if you do it with 965, you cannot do it with 83 because there's just such limited space inside Sengkang. There's a reason why 965 never got shifted out of Sengkang. It still loops inside Sengkang. It doesn't go to like Compassville or anything. Okay, so GL1, Sims Place, right? They're either gonna, oh shit, wait. 137 Woodley, 64, and what's the other bus service? Fuck. Oh shit, wait. Okay, 137 Woodley, 134 GL1, which is Kallang ITH, 64, I really want to plug 64 to you, not, fuck, no, don't. Okay, 64 to GL1 then, it's gonna loop one big round. Why don't they just keep Sims Place Terminal? There's nothing wrong with 64, but... Okay. Just take it that 134 Kallang ITH, 137 Woodley. Why would I send 137 to Woodley when literally it already applies like Paya Lebar Road? Okay, never mind. 134, 137 to Kallang ITH. I didn't even know what to do with 64, honestly. I wish Paya Lebar had like some form of bus interchange. I don't know what to do with 64, I'm so sorry. Chinese e-bus competition is at cutthroat level. True. And that's domestically. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not that familiar with like Chinese buses in general, but I see where you're coming from overseas. Japan is only at baby steps for e-bus. What they have right now are all rebadged Chinese e-buses, which is true. That's why you never liked Chinese e-bus. I'm only okay with like Yutong. The rest of them, I'm like, whatever. Unless the BYD B18 could actually prove me wrong. Zhongtong is shit. Somebody else will eventually have to fill up the vacuum. Yes. Your intel unparalleled. That's why I follow. Is that really hard? Hello. Okay. How did 980 become rationalized in the... Okay, sorry. 980 isn't getting rationalized. I think I might have said something wrong. Okay, sorry. A lot of things can be guessed when you know enough about ops and planning. That's true. Yes, 95 to CGA, early plan, 121. Okay, 121, they obviously did it in steps. And whoever said the thing about like the farebox recovery rate, they're just testing it to see whether it's worth it, setting it to Marina Center Terminal. Yes, you are correct. 985 to Changi Airport is more or less a 506 retro. Yes, true. This also makes me... I wish like PIE had some form of like bus stop. you know, like, I'll show it on the map since I have the map here. I wish that, like, okay, you guys took away 506, right? I honestly think this is like low-key trying to appease the people who don't have 506 anymore. So what if 985 actually serves Bedok Reservoir? Even if it's for like a little bit. I don't even mind. But honestly, shit. At this point in time, I kind of wish that like they would put bus stops along this stretch of PIE so that 985 would have access to, you have access to here, you have access to here as well. And it also benefits the, you see, like, these people only have 42. So putting bus stops here would actually be beneficial. Although, to be honest, it's not as easy as you think because there's like a park connector here. You don't really want to... It's not that simple, I know. They should have built this area with like buses in mind, to be honest. And by the way, I am not anti-car at all. I don't know why some people are anti-car, but I'm just saying, you know, there should be a little bit more bus priority. I'm not saying you just paint a yellow line and just call it an expressway bus lane. I'm not in favor of that. I'm not in favor of screwing up car traffic just to make buses go faster. I'm not in favor of that, but just put bus stops here. It's you serve Kembangan as well. Like you got these people over here as well. Yes, 853M. I've talked to like toilet transit people. They say 853M is a pain in the ass logistically, so it's better if it's cut. Oh, you always like to listen to bus routes from Insider because it's like, the way I say it is in a way that like, if it gets rejected, you still learn something from it. Nobody would know the real reason why 171 never got extended to Tengah if I didn't say anything, basically. PIE, yeah, AYE style bus stops. Actually possible. Demand for the city shoppers, to be honest, I also don't really know. But I don't even want to film the new city shoppers, you know why? Only 683 has like diesel buses. Okay. My plan recently, like before I go back to Japan, is that this is technically my fault. I recorded 960 OC and my dumbass deleted the footage for it by accident. I'm gonna re-record it again. I will camp this area 4 PM weekday for OC. Then I would make my way to camp the Orchard City Shoppers. Even though I put here a CDS, you know it's referring to the City Shoppers, right? And then and then I would basically ask my friends, is there any cameo today that I could film or something? But yes. And this is also a good opportunity to basically keep eating at the halal Xinjiang restaurant. I want to try more of their cuisine because northwestern China cuisine, basically from the Uyghur Muslims and the Hui Muslims as well, that cuisine is so damn underrated. They cook better food than like northeastern or southeastern China. I'm really sorry if I offended anybody, but in my opinion, I think okay, so it's like the taste wise, it's like Xinjiang. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I don't know how to speak Chinese, but basically, Xinjiang cuisine is like, it's more lamb, tomato, and cumin based, whereas Szechuan cuisine is more like the numbing spice base. But it's not really that spicy. It's just quite numbing because of the peppercorns that they use. So yes, after dining at those restaurants a little bit, I actually kind of know their flavor profile a little bit better. At least once recap. You know, I've actually been sending it to SG Buses via email. I still owe him, okay, I owe him 92A, I owe him 676, and then the rest of the services as well, I kind of owe him as well. So yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 things that I owe him. Okay, okay, it's good to talk it out so that I know which ones I owe him. This one is at night, by the way. If I'm early, I could get this one. 170A or something is like so difficult to get because it's so far away. But yeah. CDS reached 6. It's only attractive as the Travel Smart Journey scheme, correct. Okay, by the way, okay, since you're talking about 15359 and stuff like, okay, I think this is a good opportunity to kind of explain it. So, okay, let's just consolidate whatever intel that we have. Only getting Bendy Bus at the second round of trial. Again, this probably happens in like 2026 or 2027, depending on the timeline. And then in Japanese they don't actually spell out toilet. They just usually abbreviate it to toilet, and then okay. So the first rumors were that like they wanted to test on Pongo and then test on Parseris, but unfortunately Parseris ITH has failed the Bendy Bus clearance. You could send a Bendy Bus in, but you cannot park a Bendy Bus inside Parseris ITH. You know, probably because like Ricardo want crayon that ITH. So no more. So Tampines instead. I don't even know why. I don't even know if like Pongo is still a thing or not. So, but basically, if this is a thing, I don't even know what service it'll debut on. All I could guess is this, but okay, since this is not official, right? Tampines, this one, it failed Street 33's clearance because bendy buses are better than double deckers at turning 90 degrees. But when you have a road shape that's like so awkward like this, like it may be hard for the bendy bus to actually maneuver. Bendy buses are better at this kind of like 90-degree curving, like turning, but not like the kind of gradual curves. They tend to struggle in some aspects. Street 52 Bukit Batok is actually suitable for bendies but not for DDs, surprisingly or unsurprisingly. Commonwealth Drive, they tried to send a DD in, I don't know how that went, but a bendy bus could technically clear it because 195 used to go inside. Let's try. SBS 997A on 195 used to go inside Commonwealth Drive. No, SBS 999U. Why am I saying 997A? 999U, okay. So 291 failed the clearance test, and apparently 293 passed it. If there are any changes, I'll let you know. This one, the intel has been consistent. The first bus service to debut bendy buses, electric bendy buses, will still be 969 if the timeline is correct and the things don't get like jumbled up when it comes to the debuts and everything. Then additional intel, but I don't know if this is true, has told me that like AM 969, I don't even know if this is true, and then 801 PM. But 969 for sure is confirmed. Eventually, I think once the airport restriction gets lifted, they would probably put it on 858 as well. This is just a stress test, by the way. Even though 969, some bendies during peak hours will actually benefit it, but it's not the priority right now. Okay, SMRT side hasn't changed. Again, so it's like, I don't know what they would get, but MAN NLC 18E, Yutong U18, and BYD B18. It has always stayed consistent. The only change that you see is actually from GAS. So yeah, I mean, I cannot blame SBS, right? Because some of the people in SBS dislike bendy buses. There's nothing much I can do about it. Maybe the electric bendy buses would change their mind and actually get them to maintain them properly. But yeah, I just received new intel about GAS. That's why. And another intel has managed to like confirm it as well, low key. No budget to make road modifications. All of them have bendy experience, so no excuse really. Toto. 676. It's Tampines, right? So at first it was like, oh, we're gonna test Pongo, then we're gonna test Parceris, but now Parceris has failed the clearance test, so they're like, okay, Tampines 293, there it is. A service tree is also not a bad idea for bendy bus. Although does service tree really? I forgot what I rated service tree when it comes to bendy bus rate. Did I rate it like 5 out of 10 or something? I think it would be useful. 381 Pongo Coast, it's a rumor that has been floating around, but to be honest, I believe it. It should be just extending the other side to like Pongo Coast. Oh, 381. Oh, because Pongo Coast could actually park bendies. Yeah, you have a point. Actually, we'll keep in mind 381, 382. But I do believe the 381 thingy. You guys might actually be right. Yeah, they could. Oh! Good idea. 34. You guys can screen cap this slide if you want, but yeah. Even though it's just guessing, but those are good guesses, by the way. No, okay. 801, the reason why they're testing it there is because 801 does have the no-go upper deck syndrome. Although, I would love to see the electric bendy buses do 962 as well. So basically, like, I want to see the electric bus. Okay, this is not only these two are confirmed as of now. There's this. Yeah, I would like to see the bendy buses on these services. I mean, yesterday I did the exam paper and I showed it to SG buses, right? And you could also watch my previous videos as well. No. The electric bendy buses would be the first ever time 801 ever gets any form of like bendy bus, I would say. You can blame Yishun, honestly. Fuck that interchange, honestly. This is why Yishun temporary interchange, they should have opened it up for like parking. It's so stupid. No, okay. 962, by the way, it's not about the roundabout. You see, in the past, 962 has operated bendies fine. Although you do have a point, they should really make the roundabout a lot wider and more bendy bus friendly, but you see, technically when it comes to like the upper deck fetch air issue, 962 has it worse than 801, so... Or even if you don't extend, okay, the roundabout, right? Currently the roundabout is like something, there's a bus stop, basically this, right? It's kind of like in this awkward shape, right? I would actually like to see the bus stop being pushed further out so that the bendy actually has more room to like turn like this, that kind of thing. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna get my other drink. It's so good when you have like when you just open the canned drink right from the fridge. I don't really eat a lot of like I don't really drink a lot of carbonated drink. I don't like carbonated drinks. I could tolerate them, but I don't like it. But yeah, I'm just here to get my vitamin C because yesterday I had problems sleeping because of whatever happened. As in like I got a migraine, but after I showered basically I recovered. Like my headache lasted till like afternoon basically. Now I'm okay. If SBS doesn't want to expand its bendy operations, I can only see at best 851 for long range unless just Yishun feed. Okay, to be honest, like you know Ang Mo Kio Depot, right? They have like 50 bendy bus. If one depot already has like 50 bendy bus slots, it means that like you're gonna expect that they are actually bringing back bendy buses at a somewhat, I don't want to say big scale, but like it'll probably not be the scale to like what you see last time, but at least like a sizable amount, I would say 50 lots, right? So what could you put it on? 800 doesn't technically need them. It's basically just these four. Okay, I would also throw in 805 into the mix as well. Long range, right? Okay, probably only this. It has to be Seletar Depot, right? So 53 isn't under Seletar. Okay, 24. One of my friends, okay, Bunkiat has told me that like he would like to see, I don't know if it's him or some other person, they would love to see bendies on 24 during peak hours. Because Ang Mo Kio could park bendies, and do you even really need bendies on 169? I feel even 856 has like higher priority. So yeah, I mean either this or this. I feel this is more real. This thing could survive with DDs, honestly. Because a lot of people take it like long distance. I mean, I know 851's demand pattern unlike a certain someone, but yeah. Jesus Christ, why is it? Wait. Okay. One 190, okay. Sometimes the bendies on 190 do help out. That's why SMRT likes to put bendy buses during the eves of public holidays. They actually put the bendy buses on 190 to, yeah. Viability on or off service, but toilet wants to wing it and mount curb like they do in Perth and Adelaide, sure. Happens every day like it's... You know the mount curb or like thingy in Yishun? The accident rate inside Yishun is actually quite bad. It's not the bendy bus's fault. Even the SDs, DDs have crashed inside before. It's that I hate whoever designed North Point with a burning passion. Why didn't you give enough space for the buses? Allocate enough space for the bus interchange. And I want that back exit back. You know? Don't just make everything exit through the front. You're just gonna cause a jam. $857 isn't approved now, but honestly, 857 doesn't even need bendies. 857's route is more suitable for DDs. The only thing that's weird is like, why would you put bendy buses on 965? 169, even though it's not like the highest priority, I could understand. 969, I could understand. 856, I could understand. 858, obviously they have to be. I've even told people that like, even if 858 was like double-decker friendly, it should still use bendy buses. There is no way double-deckers would work on 858. Even if people do go out, you would take forever to alight people. This is why like 858 also acts like a feeder inside Woodland, Sembawang and Yishun and Khatib. This is why 858 needs the bendy buses for the fast alighting. I'm not sure what kind of configuration they would do for like the MAN NLC 18E bendy bus. If it's like 2 board 2 alight, or like 1 board 3 alight, or I don't know. But 2 board 2 alight opens up more room for fare evasion, so I don't even know if Yeah, you gotta be alert, basically. But the fare evasion thing is like a London thing, you know. Not saying it isn't a thing in Singapore, but it's more prevalent in like London. London roads are just way too narrow for bendy buses or three axle DDs. In fact, London's buses are mostly two axles, and the three axle DDs, they were a trial in like year 2015 or 16, and they can only be confined to like certain routes. Again, because their roads are designed poorly. Correct. Elderly. Yes, because back then, like, Trans Island Bus Services never procured double deckers, right? So 857 during 857 it's like Saturdays and Sundays it'll get bendies. 859 I forgot, but like 980 it's Sundays and public holidays only. And fun fact, in the old Yishun, 857 was the only bus service to use bendies and actually be parked at the end-on berths. The only other bus services bus service at the end-on berth that even had bendy appearances, it's 855. But again, those are cameos. But just saying, only 857 and 855, they were parked at the end-on berths and they actually had bendies before. But yeah, it's only these. Every other bendy's bus service, it is basically at the Sawtooth berth site for the old Yishun interchange. And then in the past, I also had the misconception. Actually, to be honest, I also don't even know if a bendy bus has ever appeared inside Bukit Batok interchange's end-on berth site. This one, I genuinely have no idea if a bendy has ever went inside the end-on berth section of Bukit Batok. I mean, since SG Buses has experience, maybe he could recall, but I genuinely have never seen a bendy bus enter the site that now has like 991, 990, 77, 173, 852. I've never seen a bendy bus along that side of Bukit Batok. So if you actually have seen one, please tell me. I would really like to know the answer to that. Bendy 118. At Changi Business Park, I don't know if they can park bendies. If it's on like a short working trip, then okay, maybe fine. But I don't know about 118. 118 is still more suitable for like double deckers. It's not because it's like long distance, it's because people take the bus long distance. It's not because it's a long distance route, it's because people take the bus long distance. SBS and Tower Transit bendy. 857, yeah, 857 was perm. They would use random bendy buses from I don't know what. Wait, isn't 854 actually on the Sawtooth berth side? Am I mistaken? Wait, wasn't 854 on like the Sawtooth, or like was it the end on? I completely forgot, I'm so sorry. No, 853 by the way had bendy buses. Cameos, obviously. But 853 only cameoed the bendy buses during the Yishun temporary interchange era. During the old interchange era, I don't think bendy buses have ever appeared on 853. It's only 855. I want SBS to lose Sengkang Hougang if they do want bendy. Okay, Ang Mo Kio feeders. Okay, this question, right? Ang Mo Kio feeders. 261 turning restrictions, unfortunately. 262 not enough demand. 269 the demand isn't high enough. 265 I support. 268 does this even need it? But this one I support. The problem is that you see, like this street, and this street. 668 has debuted double-deckers before, but this street in particular, I don't even know if it's like high-capacity bus friendly or not. The rest is fine, but I'm quite worried about this one. This one, Industrial Park 2, I don't even know if it's like the same as this. But if you ask me like Bendy bus priority, this one is industrial. Okay, so not really. I would say this one really doesn't have enough demand to like justify high capacity buses, even though it's like a merger of like two feeders, but still the demand is not high enough. I would say this, but it really depends on whether 54, 52, 53 could even take Bendy buses in the first place. So Ang Mo Kio, right, it's only this one. And 24, obviously. 71 doesn't need them. SBS wins Woodlands. No, to be honest, because of like 950, the existence of it, I don't think any operator besides SMRT would retain. I think SMRT is destined to like keep Woodlands forever, to be honest, but based on my intels. And my intels have also said that like Serangoon UNOS might be lost to SBS, might not even win it. Oh, that reminds me. You see, right? Now, one of my friends, other intels, has told me that. Okay, let's look at gaseous areas. Loyang Depot is gonna close down, and ECID. They managed to confirm that ECID is for Tampines. There is also a Sungai Serangoon Depot, the one that's near KPE and Tampines Road, the one that they fucking deforested. This one, based on distance, I asked, is this for Pongo? Then they said yes. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sungai Serangoon Depot would be for Pasir Ris as well. It makes sense. Then you might be wondering, what about KCD? This one is actually for Serangoon UNOS. I managed to confirm all of this. Okay, if it turns out wrong, I'm sorry, but in case you guys are confused, because like I thought they were moving into ECID or stuff like this, but blah 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 blah. But distance wise, it makes sense. This one ECID, this one SSDP, this one KCDP, and apparently Bedok North Depot, they may share ECID as well. Let's say if BNDP does not renovate, then they have to shift everything. But if they renovate, they shift the buses here temporarily and then they shift back. One piece of evidence that it is basically like temporary bus park, East Coast Integrated Depot. Yeah, they could use these spaces for it. Space, no issue, 90%. Okay, but the thing is, you should. I am a bendy bus lover, but I believe that you shouldn't go around spamming bendy buses for no reason. Only services like 858, 184, 962, and the rest of the feeder services, only these services should actually have bendy buses. Or maybe even stuff like, 154. Boonlay wise, I would say 240, 243. 241, unfortunately, it's restricted. 222 is restricted as well. 225 is restricted as well. 291 turned out to be restricted as well, so meh. 298 could try them. I actually support bendies on 298. Pasir Ris is no hope. Toa Payoh feeder that goes to the polyclinic. Is it 238? Because here's the thing. When it comes to Toa Payoh, the only feeder that has like super high demand is actually 238. But 238, you have to. Okay, the reason why 238 cannot have both DDs or bendy, there's no point putting DDs as well, is because this junction over here is a complete piece of shit. This junction is the junction that's preventing 238 from having high capacity buses. It's not worth it, to be honest. I'd rather they just spam single deckers. What do you mean by polyclinic? It's Agape Village. No, that's no, it's not. Okay, never mind. But yeah, only 238 has high demand basically. The rest is like moderate demand. 231's demand is like low, but the service still has to exist. It works because 59 could sometimes get stuck due to PIE. 135, I forgot what I rated. I forgot the Bendy Bus suitability ranking, but I don't think the Bendy Bus or a double decker is able to like. Wait, no. Shuttle 7, Shuttle 8, right? Don't they actually use this roundabout? The double deckers, right? I think this one might be DD friendly. Bendy, I'm not sure. Bendies are not good with roundabouts, by the way, obviously. And like 3-point turns, they are not that good at it either. I forgot what I rated 135. I think I rated it like 2, 3, or 4. I didn't rate it that high, but yeah. What else is there? Wait, why am I here? Never mind. 17, yeah, I know 171 was the first bus service to debut. Basically, Trans Island Bus Services wanted to beat SBS at the Bendy Bus game, so they flew in TIB 838H. But 171 used to have Bendy buses before DTL. Because during the eves of public holidays or during the public holidays itself, there might be demand, so they put the Bendy buses every now and then. I have caught a Bendy bus on 171 before, but unfortunately it broke down at Upper Bukit Timah Road, so at near Beauty World. Sengkang, Hougang, I'm not so sure. 138M. 114 is actually more suited for bendy buses as opposed to like double deckers. Although now that the route has been extended, you need to count on the fact that like everybody from Buangkok, Lake, and Crescent stay on the lower deck and everybody else goes to the upper deck. But 114, if I would rate bendy bus suitability ranking, I would have rated it 8 out of 10 today. 110, the demand isn't high enough to justify bendy buses, but if the demand actually grows in future, I would say split shift bendy buses. The suitability ranking, I would say like 6 or 7 for 110. What else is there? Old Yishun Interchange sawtooth berths were super wide. Yeah, I remember them also. They were huge. 156. No, 156 doesn't even need bendies. What 156 needs are short working trips or even an M variant. No bendy bus at Bukit Batok sawtooth. Got it. Oh no, okay, you mean the end-on berths. The sawtooths were the other side. Okay, I get what you mean. 15, no news. It's only 966. Oh yeah, 854 is on the sawtooth side and not the end-on side. Okay. Yes, 854E, I remember the bendy buses. They were actually... the 0405 and 0405Gs, they actually didn't have like speed limiters, or maybe their limiters actually broke over time. But yes, 854E having bendy buses, like it just flies, right? They were actually useful, by the way. Okay, how come demand for Ang Mo Kio feeders is so low? Okay, cause it's like, okay, the way I explain this is that 261 has high demand, but it's just not high enough to... No, sorry. 261 has high demand, but this road inside, it's preventing 261 from having high capacity buses. It's just like 238. You put double deckers, it's not even gonna help. 261, the reason why it gets high demand is the only bus service from Ang Mo Kio to Ang Mo Kio Avenue 10. Like this. 262, the real reason why the demand is low is because it serves, one side is garden, one side is residential. 262 basically just goes along this sector and loops here. 265's demand is high. 268 is moderate. 269 is like, the route is like, it bridges North-South line and Thompson East Coast line. Then the looping point is actually quite huge. It changed a lot, but the current rendition is basically like this, like this, like this, like this. Go out. So this Yio Chu Kang bus stop is important because it allows people here to hub spoke to outside. And then from here, like this, hub spoke back in, like this and like this. The way I think the reason is because this is like a private estate. This is kind of like a lower density area. This explains why 269 running short working trips is actually adequate. They don't actually need the high capacity buses. So I think that explains. 268 actually gets a lot of demand during peak hours. That's why they have like 268 A, B, C, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Again, I still think 268, the reason why they don't have like double deckers is because you see this road over here and then how awkward this part is the reason why 268 doesn't have double deckers. Maybe this road as well. It's quite narrow. So yeah. Demolished to make more space for the Bendy bus stand. Sorry, residents at Street 54. Trunk service. Yeah, Ang Mo Kio is quite trunk heavy per se. SBS can even have a chance. They can even pull 170 fleet with 950. SBS focus more on trains and overseas operations. SBS Australia preserves a lot more buses, expanded their territory. It's under the name CDC. Yes, SG Buses has told me this in the previous live stream, but this is good for you guys to have a better understanding of like SBS transit overseas. I don't think there's much money to be made under BCM in Singapore compared to other contracts. Correct. Trans-Island bus services, they were like night riders for days. NR 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then they lost a lot of money and SMRT had to bail them out by absorbing them. Now we are on the other extreme. Correct, it's like, as much as I like Benny buses, I would say that like having to stand on board 190 is not comfortable. Although 858 still needs the bendies because 858, right? Feeder, 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 feeder. Feeder, 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 trunk, 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 trunk. That, I mean, because of this, 858 has to use bendy buses. Double deckers won't do any help actually. So okay, people who commute long distance, when the service has a lot of like long distance packs or CDS, they need DDs. Yeah, I love 856 but I mean, my childhood was like revolved around SBS Transit's 0405s and SMRT's 0405G. Fun fact, I skipped a lot of SMRT 0405s because I couldn't stand them. It was like, I want a Benny bus. I prefer ZF 4HP 590 as compared to like 500. I feel 590 has more kick as opposed to 500. But the moment I put this thing out there, I think a lot of like senior bus enthusiasts would hate me. Haha. Roundabout is okay, they just need to learn to use the overhang better. Mount curb like Perth and Adelaide. 284. Send the toys to Ang Mo Kio feeders. Yeah, are those toys? Yes, if I'm not mistaken, 102 bendy buses, right? It will actually make sense because I think I rated it like 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 because you see 102 is like such a straight service, right? So it's like from here, board, a light. This is the reason why 102 bendies might make more sense. Hougang is the other extreme. I hate to ride 858 to the airport. Actually, to be honest, they should create on some form of like Airport Express version of like 858. Not to replace the actual 858, but just a Airport Express version. So you actually are able to ride a bus from the north to like airport in comfort. Something like City Flyer. (132) that service should just die, honestly. That bus service, there's no reason for it to live. Bendy's on 72. 72B is actually good. Although 72B, right, every single bus has to like did hit via like CT, Yio Chu Kang Road, so I would rather 72B just spam single deckers. Bendy 861 likely. You know 861 actually stole a lot of like demand from like 883 recently. It's just like how 46 and 872 took away demand from 334. So 334 nowadays, it doesn't need to run double deckers 24/7. You could just run it on split shift, and that's it. Because it changes over time. Oh, you actually liked riding SMRT 0405s because they accelerate fast. Ah, okay. The ones that really annoy me is if a scan or a DAF, oh yeah, a DAF and its VoIF, that's why it sucked. But even riding it as a cameo was darn uncomfortable. Hot, sluggish, noisy. I could see why, because I've always been asking people, because my friend actually finds DAFs decent. The senior bus enthusiasts actually love DAFs. My friend said it was decent, but now I understand why. Hot, sluggish, and noisy. L113, I know it tends to vibrate. Not just elbow, but even this. Okay, it's more of like Striders, they just tend to like vibrate a lot. Like just when the bus goes over a hump or an uneven road surface, the L113 would basically vibrate a lot. But the Strider, I mean, L113 Strider. The L113 elbow, it was, oh, I hated that bus. It's basically the ancient version, not ancient, but like it was basically the predecessor to KUB. They know the idle vibrations. I couldn't stand the elbows. They looked nice, but I hated that bus. If you saw a DAF, you knew that was replacing the broken perm bus. Okay, 113, unfortunately, it's not able to use DD or bendies. 112, the demand is actually... Okay, let me think. 112, I would rate like 4 out of 10. I forgot what I actually rated, but 113, if there were no restrictions, I would have rated maybe 5 out of 10. Because 113 typically has more demand than 112, but recently, because like, you know, 112, the houses along here, they just TOP, right? And I think this one as well. 112's demand, I think, has grown over time. I might even change it to 5 out of 10. So just take it like 112, 113, I would say 4 to 5 out of 10 for bendy bus suitability ranking. 115, the demand is like not high enough. 115 has demand high enough. Dude, I don't even know why people are so deluded thinking that like, 146 would eat up 115. I don't know who said it, but like, I'm like, 146 and 115, they serve different purposes. You guys need to know like how many videos I need to do just to remind people about 115's purpose to call along this side of the road and not the opposite side of the road. The Hougang Street 21 bend towards Upper Serangoon quite sus. Per 112. I think it's okay. I think the reason it's okay, wait. I think the high capacity bus restricted road is actually not 21. I think it's actually Hougang Street 92. This one is quite tight. That's why 112 cannot have DDs. This is the reason why 112 cannot have DDs. This is the reason why 113 cannot have DDs. Three two four, 324. I would rate it like 6 out of 10. If there is actually, but 324, you should only run it like split shift or something. 324. If you run full day bendies, you are stupid, basically. Oh, even in the Trans Island bus service days, the doves are crap. Ah, okay, I got it. But yeah, for some reason, my friends actually like doves. Maybe because it looked unique. They only bought the last Walter Alexander batch because the ZF ones were a lot better. Ah, okay, I got it. Ah, I got it now. I have to take a lot for 975 and 980, so hate it or not, I still have to take. But during the last few years when the seat refurbished, it's not that bad. Wait, you're talking about... Oh, DAF and Scania, right? No, 980 Scania, right? I don't recall 980 having DAFs. Because DAFs were like a KJ thing. I don't think 980 had DAFs. But correct me if I'm wrong. The refurbishment helped, but not enough to redeem the noise and the sluggishness. Cause VoIP 381.4 or whatever the fuck DAF's VoIP actually is, it sucked. I only like the Dean's doors and that's about it. Yeah. When the engine revved up and stalling. Yeah, correct. Hougang close. Okay, Hougang close. Hougang close. Actually, 115 extend down. You mean here, right? Here, out. Yo, I don't mind that, honestly. A frequency boost in this area, I count me in. I really don't mind. I like your idea. I always like the old bus when they beat very long until your ears ring. They were slow, but the beat was quite the charm. Yes, the Scania L13CRL backdoor chime. I loved it. You're punished, not charmed. Now the electric buses keep beeping in an ugly way. Even in China, the same issue. I know the Yutong technically has the beeps, but it's like, you know, 40. I don't know. One of them was like, warning, lane departure. Warning, lane departure. Warning, lane departure. Oh, that one was so annoying, and the bus kept vibrating a lot. Every model you mentioned, it will have at some point, maybe some specific buses not there in like KG. Frequently boosts like Lightning McQueen. I get what you mean because it just flies down Upper Thompson Road. No, but honestly, like, I think I'm probably one of the only bus enthusiasts who's like, I like 0405Gs more than 0405s, and I would skip 0405s like plague. Sorry guys. No, because it's like, if you ask me to compare between like a W3E or even a W4E with a ZF EcoMat or even ZF EcoLife, I would pick the W3E, even though that transmission was a piece of shit to maintain. No, I love W3E. I think the howl for a W3E is actually much better than a ZF howl. It sounds more unique. I mean, at least to me. Although, I liked 0405 Volgrens as well. I mean, both the bendy and the SD version. Like, you know, last time SMRT's poster bus, like for the Night Riders and stuff like that, it was actually 0405 Volgren. And my friend, even Shabu, rated it A tier for a reason. That bus was like God tier, basically. I really like riding 77 even though it was bumbling through Hillview. Wait, you mean 6th Avenue, right? It's not Hillview. It's Jalan Jurong Kecil, Totak. Yeah. 77 doesn't go Hillview. Unless you mean 177. Wait, does 177 even... Wait. I thought 177 actually used like OEC, CAC, and not really Volgrens. I could be wrong. Okay. No, okay. Speaking of Hillview, right? 970, I see a truckload of people boarding at Hillview, and then I get people questioning like, why does 970 throw through Jalan Jurong Kecil and Hillview? I mean, one bus service has to do that, right? It's like you want to replace Trans Island Bus Service 5, but you need to give it a different purpose, right? So, Jalan Jurong Kecil, Hillview, at the very least, one bus connection. It doesn't have to be at high frequency, so they chose 970 for it. And oh my god, I don't even understand why some people don't understand the purpose of 970 at Hillview. I'm like, it's a unique connection, man. Like, there is literally only one bus service ever in history, by the way, to go from Jalan Jurong Kecil to go from Jalan Jurong Kecil to Hillview. There's only one bus service. It's for connectivity reasons. And then I see people saying like, we must cut 970 in half. I'm like, 970 is already sustainable, and sometimes the thing actually gets demand running at 20-minute frequencies. So why can't you just accept the fact that 970, just like 77, it's meant to be a not so high frequency service, but it exists just for connectivity? And then I have people saying like, I want to like do a bus network integration of service 970. I want to cut 970 in half. I want to send 970 elsewhere. And it's the same group of idiots who want to... oh my god. They tried to like take 1.74 and just swap the sectors. They're like, 105 and 153 have to swap sectors because I want 105 to be sonic. I don't even care if 123 and 153 duplicate each other at Tanglin Road. I just want to swap it so that 105 becomes faster. And I'm like, oh my god. I don't get people, man. Yes, 950. I know it was kind of like the poster bus. Eh? I thought 178 always, it was like a dumping ground for the old buses like Nissan, Diesel, U31RCN, and stuff like that. Yes, Scania, Elbows, and Striders as well. Oh, by the way, thank you for this question, by the way. Okay, I know this is a little bit confusing, but technically, right, 0405 Mark 1, this one is SBS. SBS ones were like 1992. And then there is like 0405 Mark 2, which is TIPS, SMRT ones. And then, okay, I know DAFs. The earlier batch was ZF, and then the later batch, like the CSS ones were ZF, and then the later batches were VoIF. Like, and then I was told that like the ZF DAFs were actually pretty decent, kind of thing. And then there's this as well. 0405G. Singapore doesn't have 0405G Mark 1s, by the way. I mean, if they had, they would probably have like W4E instead. Double deckers like 0305 is W3D, if I'm not mistaken. If it's Mark 1, it would have had this instead. I believe these exist in the world. But the ones that are present in Singapore, it's actually 0405G Mark 2. You branch it off to Hispano Mark 1, Hispano. I know a lot of people get confused when it comes to this. Hispano Habit. Okay. Pininfarina, Hispano Habit. And then Volgren as well. Now, what I was told by my friend is that it's just the exterior and interior designs that are different, but Hispano Mark 1s and Hispano Mark 2 bodyworks, they were designed with like the same frame per se. So there is technically no difference between a, like performance wise, between a Hispano Mark 1 and a Hispano Mark 2 bendy, like, you know, the smiley bendies, this one, the thingy, right? I know my drawing is bad, but dude, my drawing is creepy, but yeah. Okay, I think like this. Yeah, that looks more like it. This bus and this bus, they were actually pretty much the same, just with different designs. My friend suspected, basically. So this is where the confusion starts. It's like Singapore's 0405Gs, they are all Mark II. But the exact bodywork, I don't even know why they named it. Oh, Hispano Mark 1, Hispano Mark 2. So it's like 0405G Mark II, Hispano Mark 1. 0405G Mark II, Hispano Mark 2. It's like, I know it messes with some people's minds, but basically, yeah. Yeah, correct. It's like, no, Volgren's my favorite. Volgren's my favorite. The UK lens, Dennis lens, be it UMW or UK, I mean, they're pretty much the same duple matsec, right? It's not even a UK bus. It's more of like, I know one is Malaysian built, and the quote-unquote UK lenses, they're actually from Malaysia, so there isn't really a lot of difference between UMW and UK besides their looks. I don't even know why people call it UK lens, but even though the only thing UK about it is duple matsec, but like the freaking Dennis lenses, minus the Volgrens of course, their leg room, and I was and I still am kind of like a tiny person. Now I'm not that. I'm like 1.67 meters tall, 167 cm. Yes, my height is actually 167. But like, even for me, I just find even when I was a kid, the Dennis lenses, they just have the worst leg room ever. Is it a special bus? Is it the mind your step and stuff like this? I like it because it's special, but I just don't like the fact that the Dennis lenses don't even have enough leg room. Ah yes, 178 UDs. Correct. 0405G Habit, the Euro ones, they were crap. The Euro 2s were slightly better. 0405Gs, yes, 0405Gs by default are all Euro 2. Mark 1, Mark 2, all Euro 1, Euro 1 engines. Mark 1 used air-powered doors. Mark 2 had electric door. Oh, mnemonic doors and electric. Okay, that makes more sense, because I was like, the doors, the mechanisms, the in-swing plug door mechanisms, they were different. I mean, you could tell, right? Because the Mark 1's doors were the same as 0405 doors. That was to take the straightest path to Bukit. Okay, the straightest path was actually Trans Island Bus Service 5, but yeah. Difference in budget. Oh, it's the chassis origin. Fun fact, SMRT and Viro 500s were actually built in Malaysia, Sime Darby. Oh. I mean, it's MMC, it's from China, but like it was assembled in like Malaysia. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Then I'm curious about like 5001 and 5002. I know 5001 is fully UK, it doesn't vibrate as much. 5002 I kind of forgot, but if you want a good enviro, you should camp for like SMB 5001, I guess. Oh, the chassis. Okay, okay, yeah, got it, got it. The chassis, but it was assembled. Oh, okay, okay, I got it, I got it. It was only the chassis. The air piston closing. Boom, boom. Yeah, I remember that. But the 0405 Mark. Sorry. This and the Hispano Mark 1's doors, they have a tendency to be. Okay, not really Hispano Mark 1, but the doors tend to be quite violent per se. The psst. Okay, because you know, right, like the most silent one I would say is the habit. You would hear a thud sound like tuk tuk. That's all. But habit is more of like all you hear is basically the like when the doors like they open, they're like this, and then the doors will like shake a little bit, and that's it. The psst sound I hear it more on the Volgrens, because you know why, SMC transit doors, they suck. But that was why I found the Volgrens quite unique. You know, Volgren bendies are the most unique, I would say. To the point whereby like my I mean my most precious video is Volgren. Where is it? Did I not put it here? Yeah, my most precious videos are all Volgrens. Volgren Optimus. Again, I still don't even know if this one is a Eco Mat or an Eco Life. I would love to find out, because these are like 2010, 2011, so it might be a mix. I don't even know. But yeah. Holy shit, 301. Thank you guys. Oh my god. Okay, he's commented this on the live stream already, so yeah, I've already read his comments on the live stream. Not just Ohana Zayaki. Oh, it's the non-air conditioned train. Nice. Oh, for you it's a Hino Volgren. Unfortunately, because I curfew, I saw TIB 905Y just chilling. I have never actually ridden the Hino Volgrens at all. Because curfew. And because back then I was like, I love bendy bus, and then, you know, I never actually. My rides on like 925 and 927, I didn't get the Hino Volgrens, which was such a shame. They used to be darlings when they were under tips. And it's like, I don't know how to say this, but like, I know Hinos, they had like limited fuel capacity, which limited the number of routes that they could be deployed on, but still, I bet they were treated nice. It's such a shame that they had to retire early. Under tips. Ah, okay. NAC trains in Sydney were called, sweat trains. Hong Kong hot dog for the NACs. Okay. Got it. Do I really want to get the 960 OC500 LE? I think I will never stop whining about the 960E OC500 LE until I actually get it. But at least I have something to do. Instead of like just waiting for people to, you know, spoon feed me cameos, I might as well just go camp for the 960E OC500 LE. I cannot shut up about it because I okay. Yeah. Alright, the Hino Volgren also quite hard to get during during your time as well. Nice. We actually. What did I... What did I even do? Hold on. I think this is like the only classic bus I've ever drawn. Okay, I'll just show it to you guys. Yeah, I love this bus so much. I mean, you guys have already seen this countless number of times, but technically this is red, but I was like, no, I want it black. It looks better in black. Even though 0405's this part is actually red. But yeah. I know I kind of like messed up the dimensions of the bus a little bit, but again, no, I think I messed up the dimensions of like the windscreens, but I was like, whatever, I don't care. I don't want to put in the effort to fix it. I think this still looks decent anyway. So yeah, I just stuck with it. GIS livery. Yeah. No, I think I'm the only person who has like drawn something like this. But yeah. And then obviously I made it blue because I was like, okay, contrast, not opposite colors. The opposite of red is green. Opposite of blue is orange. Haha, NUSISB. Opposite of yellow is purple. But yeah, opposite of black is white. Yeah, I was like, I wanted to make this blue because I like blue destos in general. So I was like, I'm gonna crayon one myself. Yeah. Yeah, tips. Why the kids don't make more blue destos, I have no idea. It's like, you guys like to make your destos, right? Why not make them blue? I'm not asking you guys to paste it on the windscreen or what, but I'm just saying, why don't you guys actually try to make blue destos at least? Fast forward, yeah. Oh yeah, fast forward. I call it grandpa bus since I always took it on Almo kill feeders then. Granted, it always spawned when I don't need it. That was me and tridents. See, here's the thing. As a kid, I have taken a trident on 865, but I mean S85. Before haha NEL came into the picture. I was really young. And I went like 2003 plus... Oh my god. Shit. 2003 plus like... I think I went like 7 to 8 years without a single Dennis Trident ride. And guess what on which service I actually caught it? It was 62. It wasn't 51, 64, 80 or 89. I caught the one Dennis Trident perm on 62. I was like, what the since when does 62 have tridents? I was like, oh my god. Then I learned the existence of SG Wiki and I was like, what? 62 really has tridents? I was like, wow. It was perm by the way, but I was like, as a kid, you cannot... As a kid, when I saw that trident on 62, I was like, oh my god! Like, you know. And it was also like, seeing boarding a CNG 105 for the first time. I got the set. I got the set which... not the set. I got the CNG unit in which the back door closing sound was like... And it wasn't the usual... It wasn't that one. I was like, what the hell? It's like, I got on the bus and I was really looking forward to hearing the on an SD and I was like, what the fuck? But yeah. But yeah. No, because like many people my age, they didn't really get into buses until they were like let's say 10 or 11 or 12. And the buses that they actually remember is like B10M Mark IV. There's a reason why it's popular, but I'm one of the rare people that like, despite my age, this was my favorite bus, even though it sucked ass. Okay, the variation that I just hummed just now, it was just VSO and CNG, that's all. A Trident is like... then SBS 2888T was like for the back door. 1688 had that chime, but it was pitched higher for the front door, and then the back door was just the Dennis Lens for beeps. But for me, Dennis Lens, I like TIB 932T because the bus stopping sound was like instead of like the usual 4 beeps. I just found it unique. And then TIB 1184D, that one, the bus stopping sound was a KUB's doors closing sound. The Euro 5s. Although some Euro 5 batch ones, they still had the classic chime. It's a yeah, basically like basically how to say, it's like the VSO and the CNG ones, they sounded more lullaby and softer, but the ear piercing ones were the CDGE and Scania Euro 4. But even some Scania Euro 4s, they already have like the lower pitched, the current chime. Bendy DDs, that's not possible because they are restricted to 40 kilometers per hour and an actual safety hazard. Yeah, 62 is better known for like super long. Blue Despo mean air condition, and this thing I already put air condition on it, so it's not wrong. U31 RCN, like if you watch old videos, the back door, the chime is actually really special. Maybe that's why Afiq Asman really loved those buses. He loved those Nissan diesels just as much as I love this bus, and that's why he's really into like Japanese buses and trains. Even though he cannot speak Japanese, but he's like into that kind of stuff. He went to like try the Isuzu Cubics as well in is it Echigo Yuzawa, that area? Is it Gala Yuzawa or something? Echigo area, I think. Or Minakami. See, here's the thing. Sometimes like Japanese readings, right? Like let's say I get this thing. It can get annoying at times because it's like Suijo, right? I mean, if you read it the Sino-Japanese way, but this doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay, this is Minakami, not Mizukami, it's Minakami. Basically, this is Kami and then this is Shimo. When it's like upper or lower, in this context, it's Kami and Shimo. So it's like Upper Bukit Timah, Lower Pierce, Lower Seletar Reservoir. You use Kami or Shimo when it's like direction related, upper or lower, when it comes to like a geographical sense. And then this one, I am so tempted to read it as Minamoto. It makes sense, right? But unfortunately, this word on its own, it's actually pronounced as haha. This one word has 4 syllables, Minamoto, and this is not Minamoto. I'm really sorry, but this thing is actually called Mizumoto. So why is this Mizumoto? Why is this Minakami? Like, why is it so inconsistent? It makes no sense. Maybe it's because it flows nicer, but yeah, this kind of shit doesn't make sense to me. Like just how? And then if you want to know the Japanese words that have like the most syllables, I don't even know which one it is, but one very famous example is like shonin suru, shochi itashimasu, that kind of thing. This is actually u, ke, ta, Uketamawaru. One word, 5 syllables. Uketamawaru. Uketamawarimasu. Uketamawaranai. Uketama. Uketamawata. Uketamawaranakata. This is why nobody likes to use polite form. They just use plain form and then they just add this, that kind of thing. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, 5 syllables for one word. And don't even get me started on like how this thing, we would read it as Daiwa, but somehow it's actually just Yamato. Why is this Yamato? It makes no sense. You just design kanji. I was so glad. Oh yeah, you were so glad you filmed the UDs. Correct. Riding any UD in Japan, like the Space Runners, for example. The seat is meant for 2 people, but too chunky to seat one. Yeah, correct. To long enough, you don't even filming. Okay, I get what you mean. Oh. No, what do you mean the word I there? No, are you referring to like your particles like watashi, watakushi? This is super polite, by the way. And there's like boku, ore. Did I even write it right? This is friends only. You only use ore when you're referring to friends only. Boku is more. Boku is casual. Even girls nowadays use it. Even girls nowadays say ore, by the way. It's just like how the name like Courtney, it used to be an all guys name, but eventually became a unisex name. It's kind of this kind of thing. And then you, it's like, sorry. Okay. You don't really say anata. You only really say anata to a crowd when you're not referring to specific people and you just want to say you. So you say anata. But you never call a person directly anata. This again, it's like it could be rude if you use it wrong. Then there is like kimi is more affectionate, like casual as well. Then there's the quote-unquote rude one, omae, oira, or even the one thing, teme. Teme is like low-key rude, and it's only like okay, how do I say it? It's like hold on, there's something in my eye. I need to get it out. Oops. Hurry. Oh, crap. Now I need to get the thing in my eye out. Basically, teme and ore are on the same level. Omae is on the same level. Yeah, unless you're referring to this, but if you wanna be safe, do not say anata unless you're referring to a crowd. No one specific in a crowd. If you just address the person by their surname or their name, depending on how close you are. But if you want the safe option, just use this casually or use this formally or super formally. Wait, are you talking about this when you say I, there's like 70 different times? Okay, another retarded thing about Japanese is that ikasu, and then there's also ikasu as well. It's like, and then there's also another one called like tsutomeru, like, I forgot how to write it. It's like tsutomeru, tsutomeru. Tsukin. Then there's also tsutomeru. All of these, they mean around the same thing, but they have different nuances, and I'm not an expert in explaining this. I don't even know what's the difference between these three, by the way. But then there is like the ikasu, they mean the same thing, but they have like really different nuances. And then it's like ikasu, ikiru. This one is a intransitive verb. This is a transitive verb. This is like you do something to it. This one is like automatic. That's one thing. Ikiru, ikasu. And then there is also like even stuff like haeru. And then there's also umareru, which is the passive form for the word umareru, to be born. Then what else is there? There is also I mean, that's all. And then there's like, oops, what am I doing? Hane plus umu is ha new. Like hane plus umu becomes haneu. And then there's also like this one. Kiri umu kiryu. And then there's also some more like gamo and kuzu. It just like, I think gamo is like, wait, sorry, kama, if I'm not mistaken. Without this it's ura, with this it's kama, so it's like kama umu. Kama is not kama anymore. Kama becomes gama, and then gamau. Does it even make sense to you? One word, new, diu, mo, like mo, new, diu, kuzu, zu. It's like this. And then there's like one very common phrase is basically like sei nen ga, ちょっと待ってね。Gappy. I almost forgot. Sei nen. From gatsu, they change it to a small thing, and then he becomes pi. So you could think of it as guppy fish. seinen gappi. Say. And then there's also one which I forgot how to write it. It's like isho shou. Oh my god, how do I write this? Oh, oh shit, I remember how to write this. Yes. Isho ken mei. A lot of people forget how to forget this kanji, but basically they think of it as another kanji, but yeah. Sei shou. Sei shou. You have to memorize all this. Now you see why Japanese is complicated. Japan is a very class-oriented society, like UK. Korea as well. But yeah. But basically, this is how jank Japanese can get. But I love to play with ateji. Okay, since we're on the topic of Japanese, right? I'll tell you something that's a little bit more easy, because this is kanji, right? And you probably cannot read kanji, so probably if you actually know how to read kanji, I'm sorry. But basically, like Pongo. Historically, this town is spelled with an O. And somehow, I'm not writing it properly. Normally, because when you transcribe, you keep sound and you keep the spelling as well. They try to do it. But if you said Pungo to a local Singaporean, they wouldn't understand. So why not you don't call it Pungo, you call it Bongo instead? Why not? You have the correct sound for it, but you guys are like Bungo, Bungo. No, Pongo, okay? This sound in Malay and Japanese is exactly the same. So this is the one thing I hate about like romanization in Singapore, which led me to create my own names for like different towns. Like for example, see, I don't know Chinese. I don't even know what's the Chinese name for Tengah, but like what I did with this is basically, okay, I ignore the H because it's just ga in general. So develop bricks. Brickland is nearby. Tengah, the ateji that I've created is basically this. Tengah, develop bricks. And then if I were to refer to the town, I would be like Tengah, but if I say it in Japanese, Tenga, like Tengachaya, Tengachaya. Oh my god. That place in Osaka is called Tengachaya. Then it's like Shinmachi. Tenga Shinmachi is basically what I coined up myself. And then it, even though it's technically wrong as well, orchard, it's like there is one way to call it. It's it's called like what? I'm not writing it properly. I know people write this before they write this, but again, it's so counterintuitive. I need to know the borders before I actually write inside, so I disagree with this rule. But yeah. Or like ochado, like ochado. That's one. But then if I want to stretch the sound like orchard, right? I would replace this character with this, and I stretch the sound. Oh, sorry, this is too big. I stretch the sound. Ochado. So even though this is wrong, but this is how I invent like place names in Singapore. I convert them into like Japanese. Easy to learn, hard to master, correct. Oh, it's middle in... Okay. Because the way you do kanji in Singapore, the place names, you do it the Ainu or Ryukyu, more of like the Ainu style. Ainu uses kanji, either the pure Japanese reading or the Sino-Japanese reading borrowed from China but converted into their own. But like pure Japanese or Sino-Japanese, Ainu language uses both to transcribe. So you would have places called like Daosu, or what else do I have? Oshamanbe. They have places like this. I know they spell with an M, but it's actually an N. Oshamanbe. They have all these Ainu place names that, or even like Natori. You look at the kanji, it doesn't make sense, right? But it's actually just transcription. So this is what I do for Singapore as well. I follow the Ainu style. Ainu style of like transcribing. So imagine I come up with something like this. I transcribe Tenga to Tenga, and then I put this here. So it's basically saying middle chuo, which is basically middle chuo. Basically, it's like the way, if I spell it in full, it's this, but it becomes romanized to just chuo. I really need to write it properly. I'm sorry. I write faster than I think. So it's basically middle. Imagine you have a place name like this. You would just feel so discombobulated a little bit. Discombobulated, basically. Oops. So yeah, like, it's actually quite jank. And then some of them, you don't even have to translate it, because you know why? When you translate Hokkien place names to Japanese, you don't even have to change anything for the most part. Bunlei, right? In Japanese, Bun-de. Because Japanese borrows from Middle Chinese, which has Hokkien influence, which is now Hokkien, right? You see Hokkien and Japanese. Korean, as I was told, is similar to modern day Chinese, like Mandarin, but Japanese is more similar to Hokkien in terms of like pronunciation. So in some cases where it just so happens that this is Hokkien, the dialect. Again, I'm not very familiar with this. I don't even know how to explain Chinese things because, you know, I suck at it. But yeah. This is, some places you don't even have to like translate it. Oops, sorry. This is why I think like it's actually quite interesting. Like, you just like cough up something out of like thin air, and I like how fun that is sometimes. I mean, it's like when I made that fake Keisei line in Singapore, so I was like, yeah. No, like when I made a fake Keisei line in Singapore, basically I did all of this. So what I did was that like, what station names do I have? I think I'll just like type it out like this. Jesus, I want to type. Okay, but basically like, how do you say? It's like you match the sound of the kanji to the sound of the place, and that's what Ainu people do in their transcriptions. No, when kanji was being introduced to them, Ainu people are like tribes. Some of them are like Orthodox Christians. Some of them, not all, but yeah. Like in Japan. Because like Tohoku area has more Orthodox Christianity, even as compared to like Hokkaido area, but because it's close to Russia. So that's why there's like Russian influences. So basically it's like, sorry. And then it's like Toguan. And then what I do? This one is hard to transcribe. So Kachu means small, right? So you could call it something else, like something along the lines of like small. Then it's like Misekai or Bisekai, up to you. Then I have like King Albert Park. Then Tankaki. Then I have like, you know, Keisei Takasago, right? No, sorry. This is Botanic Gardens. Or maybe Shokubutsu-en, it's also fine. Then I was like, okay. So here is one. Then basically Toa Payoh Lorong 6. Then I was like, St. Andrew's Village, basically. Then I was like, this is so dumb, but then Motoyawata, Keisei-yawata. So Funabashi, wait. Motoyawata, Keisei-yawata. So I was influenced by this nonsense. And then what else did I do it? It's like maybe something like this. And then what? And what? The ones in the brackets, I like messed up the order already. I'm so sorry about this, but whatever. And I was like, Bedok North Avenue 4. Then I was like, what else do I do? This. Jesus. Then I was like, this is the kind of crap I do, basically. And then what is this? Shit. Die. No, it's 3 and 2. Something like this. And then I would be like, basically from that midpoint, right? I would be like, then what's the next one? This, no, Brado. I would be like, this is Lorong Chuan, obviously, but to the south of it, like near Brattle Road, and then I would be like, what the fuck is all this? It's like Tabilalari. Bartley. Then I was like, Kita Kaki Bukit. And then I would be like Kim Chuan, Kita Kaki Bukit. This is Bedok Reservoir. Then I would be like Nishi, Tampines. Then from here on, I would be like so this nonsense eventually becomes like and then I have this stupid nonsense as well, which is basically like Sats area. Then basically I would just be like, oh, I didn't know they actually did that. Then I was like, okay, like that. I'm not even taking into account TEL. I don't want TEL to actually absorb Changi Airport branch line. I'm just gonna leave it as it is so that, yeah. So basically, this is the kind of bullshit that I crayoned when I was like young. I was like, nobody can explain the kind of nonsense I made. So this one is basically like sky access line, and then this one is like main line. I was like, ugh. Then I even made the parallels as well. This kind of nonsense. And the thing is, like, when I tell people, I don't even say imba nihoni, like I just tell them imba. But the thing is that, like, I don't like how this is being romanized because it is not imba. Japanese letters do not end with an M. It's only N. It's not Korean, by the way. It's inba. Like, shit, how do you... No, I think I thought, wait. Yep, I thought. That word is like so uncommon. Ho, and then Imba comes from Imba Numa, which means Imba Marsh. But what the hell does this word mean again? I keep forgetting. Sorry, I want to research this. What do I get when I try to put Google Translate. Never mind. I'm gonna Google Translate. Imba Mark, okay, yeah. Ha! Let me put this into like Wiktionary. Wiktionary. I mean, why am I zoomed in? Sorry. Wiktionary. It means like Hon, Han, Ban, Hata, Wata, Ma. Hey, wait. What? No. Huh? I'm correct? No, why? Why is this not Hon, Han, Ban, Hata, Ba? Kunyomi, Hata or Ba, Imba Nihonidai. But what the hell does this mean? Ijitai, ちょっと待ってね。Why are there no why are there no meanings to the word? What? 痛い字この漢字についてはご覧ください。何とは旗などの意味を持つ漢字。旗。What? Can you tell me what this... Jesus. Can you tell me what this actually means? What? No. I'm not... Hold on. What? Banners, flags. Just put it for you guys to see. A flag, a long thin flag on a pole. A mark on a flag. Sorry. A mark on a flag. Does that even make sense to you guys? Like, a mark on a flag. No, but I was correct. I managed to like fish out the alternate writing of it, but I was like, huh? Okay, at least it's actually working right now. Why is it so? Oh no, it's just repeated. Okay. I thought I was like messing up or anything, but yeah. Sorry. But yeah. The kind of crap I do. Yeah. Okay, good night. Thanks for being here. If there's no other questions, I'll probably play like one game of this and then I don't know. I'll just end the stream. But yeah. But today's stream is actually quite good. Unlike when that incident happened. So ugh. God damn. Ugh. Oh, I hate when they play. I hate when they play this kind of openings. And when they spend so long just to make one move. They are really slow. Ah, why are you so slow? Okay, good move though. Never mind, I want to attack. Why is this guy burning his clock down? I want to know why. I know it's a 10-minute game, but why are you spending like 1 minute on each move? There's no bonus time. Usually, the people don't even play this slowly. I really don't understand why. Why are you giving up your queen? I could literally just take it. I don't even care if I cannot castle. I have a queen, you don't. I'm not dumb. Alright, good night. Bye-bye. I'll just finish this game and then, yeah. Thanks for being here. La 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 la. You can just go out. All I have to do is just trade. All I have to do is trade. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, like, why does he want to play without a queen? That's the thing that I just don't get it. If anything, I could just bring my king to safety. He really wants it. I'll just give him the pawn. I don't even care. I just want to bring my king to safety. I don't know. He's targeting. Oh my god. Fine. Really don't want his knight to cause trouble. But I don't like the fact that he has 2 bishops. Oh, my ass. Am I really losing to this guy? Fuck it. I have a literal queen. If I lose to this, this is why I hate this game sometimes. Let's see how you defend against this. It kind of worked out. Oh my god, I don't know. I'm stupid. He's gonna... No, he cannot check me. Because it's covered. Good move though. You know what? I just... Yeah. Take. Can he even take back? I genuinely don't know, cause I'm threatening like this and then this. What the hell? Why is he so smart? I really want to try. I don't want him to get 2 rooks. He's just gonna overwhelm me. Like, wait, if he takes, I go up there, right? And he has no way to defend. What? I don't want. Yeah, he's not stupid. Oh my god. Dude, I hate it when like people are this good. I'm gonna stay on the light squares. I really hate this. Because I don't want his bishop to get me. Oh my god. Just stay on the light squares. His bishop cannot touch me. God, what's he trying to do? You know he wants to come here. There's nothing I can do. I don't know. I don't fuck know. actually have less time than him. God damn it. I hate this guy. I hate this. Oh my god. Oh no, oh my god. Why is this bishop covering every single damn thing? Thankfully, I'm not fuck. I hate this guy. I hate this guy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why am I the fucking one low on time right now? gonna keep checking him. I'm gonna be annoying. Okay, shit. I need to fucking move. I need to fucking move. I don't have time. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. I'll make another queen. He cannot get close to me. I'll just make another fucking queen. Yeah. I was not supposed to win this, but he blundered. I think he panicked. I got annoyed because he played so slow in the beginning. And then I was the one who ended up losing time. God damn it. But this is why I would never ever become a good chess player, because I play like shit. Yeah. You know what? Okay, decent. Just check everything is alright before I go to sleep. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. Thumbnail updated. Okay. This one's quite nice. Alright. Thank you guys for joining the stream today. I had a lot of fun, especially when there are like 9 to 12 people plus watching. I'll see you in the next stream, if there is a next stream. Oyasumi. Bye. Testing. Oyasumi. Bye.